Carl J, 8 years in the shop. PvE with zombies, build a base and take your shot. Then Epic looked up PUBG and said, yo, that's kinda nice. 3 months later, Battle Royale, bro, they didn't think twice. The buzz from the sky made it free to play. Stole the crown from Bluehole, they can cry all day. And now it's kids on the mic screaming, get good, bro. Just landed, bam, got snipe, well, time to go. Drop in, loot up, build a 5-star hotel. John Wick's cranking 90s, guess I'm stuck in Fortnite hell. Darth Vader shooting Naruto's got a gun. They made $9 billion, man, this game is never done. Kratos in a squad with Travis Scott and Deadpool. Thanos did a TikTok dance, okay, now this ain't cool. Goku's in the lobby while I'm broke from all these skins. Spider-Man just webbed me up, I'm uninstalling, man. Drop my paycheck on some V-Bucks, thought I'd be okay. Now my landlord's at my door, sure you forgot to pay. But Epic keeps on printing money, selling every brand. Next up, Mickey Mouse with an Uzi in his hand. Drop in, loot up, build a 5-star hotel. John Wick's cranking 90s, guess I'm stuck in Fortnite hell. Darth Vader shooting Naruto's got a gun. They made $9 billion, man, this game is never done. Contras in the game, Marshmallow got a stage. Ariana had a show, Brian Mike's still awake. Now Lego's in the mix, they got modes for every style. Can't escape the Fortnite grip, this game just stole my child. So here I am back again, thought I finally quit. But they dropped an OG map, alright, just one more hit. I'll be back next season when they add another guest. Like Striker Barney with a shotgun, man, this game's a mess. AA, build a wall, build a floor, but it won't save you from the store. They want my money, take it all, just one more skin, I swear that's all.
The prices went up, but it ain't their fault, right? Nah, it's global economics, baby. Sure. Prices got high, thought it was just me. Now a console's got the cost of a flat screen TV. They say don't get mad, it's out of our hands. While they sell the same game twice with the season pass plan. Went to buy a Switch but had a ditch, cause I needed gas and food and rent and Twitch. And every time you cry at checkout lines, they just give that same old alibi. Blame it on the tariffs, yeah, yeah. Blame it on the trade war pain. They jack up the cost and say sorry boss, it's those tariffs again. Blame it on the tariffs, oh baby. Don't blame greed or a marketing spin. When your wallet's thin, just sing. Blame it on the tariffs. Microsoft's like, hey, we got no choice. That Series X price came straight from a higher voice. Sony says we'd give it free if not for international shipping fees. And Nintendo's laughing with a plastic grin, selling Mario Kart again and again and again. All you ask them why your paycheck's crying, they say economic climate's frying. Blame it on the tariffs, that's right. Blame it on the orange tinted rain. Blame it on trade, blame every upgrade on that presidential campaign. Oh, blame it on the tariffs, come on, don't you dare blame the corporate game, no. Blame it on the tariffs. Hey, we love to keep games affordable, but you know, shipping, steel, chips, supply chain disruption. Also, we bought like 6 studios, but hey, tariffs, baby, that's the real reason. Blame it on the tariffs, oh yeah. Blame it on imported wire. Blame it on Trump and the trade slump while they build their money empire. Blame it on the tariffs, so next time you're broke and filled with shame, just whisper the name. Tariffs. Don't blame the devs,
Yeah, you know who it is. Big Todd in the house, 16 times the detail, 1,000 planets, but none of them got NPCs. Hey, let's go!
Word, Bethesda, oh Bethesda, you got me again. Told me it'd be polished, but it's glitching instead. Todd Howard said you can go anywhere, but my ship just crashed and it ain't even fair. Oh Bethesda, take my cash. Another broken launch, but I still come back. 16 times the detail, yeah, we all believe, till I take an arrow straight to the knee. Hey, load up Fallout, yeah, I'm feeling bold. Power armor looking nice, but my limbs won't fold. NPCs T-posing, floating through the sky. Said it'd be next gen, man, Todd, why'd you lie? Starfield's got 1,000 planets, sounds insane, but half of them are empty, bro, explain the game. I built my ship, took off, feeling real tight. Then I clipped through the floor, now I'm stuck in a fight. 16 times the meme, 16 times the lies. 16 new patches, each one's a surprise. Took an arrow to the knee, now I'm stuck in space, but that's alright, I'll just blame it on the chase. Word, Bethesda, I mean Bucksta, here we go. Another new game, but it's buggy though. 16 times the detail, where'd it be? Guess I lost it with my frames at 23. Skyrim dropped again, what's this? Re-Nurse 10. Got it on my toaster and my fridge, amen. But I still take a knee shot every damn time, and the guard don't care, man, I'm losing my mind. Fallout 76, yeah, that launch was rough. Charged me full price, game still looking scuffed, but they patched it up. Gave us NPCs, only took them 5 years, but hey, I'm pleased. Lure, I keep playing, yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the bugs or Todd's sweet lies. He says, go explore, make your own fun, but I fell through the map, guess my run is done. 16 times the bugs, 16 times the crashes, 16 times my save files taking flashes. Took off in my ship, thought I'd see the sights, but my crew's just floating like they're in a fight. Pre-order bonus? Oh, that's a laugh. Season pass, more like a crash. Nuka-Cola, more like Nuka-Whoa. I swear every update's another low blow. You're Bethesda, oh Bethesda, you got me again. Told me it'd be polished, but it's glitching instead. Todd Howard said you can go anywhere, but my ship just crashed and it ain't even fair. Oh Bethesda, take my cash. Another broken launch, but I still come back. 16 times the detail, yeah, we all believe, till I take an arrow straight to the knee. Man, I swear I'm done this time, until Elder Scrolls 6 drops. Hey Todd, you win again.
Well, I walked in the store with my wallet in hand, looking for a console like a true gamer stand. Saw the price tag and I nearly went blind. Said, why does this PS6 cost more than my ride?
Flex said, don't be mad, don't make a fuss. It's not our fault, blame the previous POTUS. I said, what? He said, yeah, it's true. Trump's tariffs got the prices going through the roof.
So blame it on the tariffs, baby, every single cent. That Switch Pro's price tag, that's where it went. Xbox costing more than my college degree, cause Trump's tariffs hit the HDMI, allegedly. So next time your wallet feels the burn, remember tariffs took a left-hand turn.
Nintendo's like, we hate to break your heart, but Joy-Cons now cost a shopping cart.
Sony's like, we had no choice, we added haptic rain and a common voice. Microsoft's like, Game Pass is still a deal, but Series X now costs a Tesla wheel. Even indie devs are joining the train, selling pixel art at $80 a game. But blame it on the tariffs, baby, every nickel and dime. That loading screen tax happens all the time. They say it's steel or maybe plastic parts, but I think they just want to fill their shopping carts. So next time your bank app screams in pain, just whisper Trump tariffs not in vain. I wanted Mario Kart, got a payment plan instead. I pre-ordered Halo, now I'm deeply in the red. They said inflation, nah, that's old news now. Tariffs are the go-to excuse. So when your game don't run and the price is obscene, they'll say it's not us, it's the global machine. Just ignore that yacht they parked at E3. They're just victims of trade policy. Or blame it on the tariffs, baby, it's the perfect scapegoat for 900 consoles with gold-plated remotes. Games with bugs, $200 a pop, but don't you dare complain It died last year. Now if you'll excuse me, I need a loan just to buy that Kirby DLC tone. Thanks a lot. Tariffs. Well, I booted up south of midnight, feeling fine. Got my spells, my sass, I'm ready to shine. Then boom, big beast, 20 arms, breathing fire. I died so much, my controller retired. I tried to roll parry and dash on cue. Game said, get good, I said, nah, I'm through. And right when I almost snapped and quit, I heard a whisper, a gospel hit. Skip the boss, John Walker said. Just walk on past, don't be misled. Games ain't chores, they're meant for fun. So let that angry dragon stay undone. You ain't gotta fight no squid with knives, or study boss moves like it's changing lives. Hit skip, sip tea, and read instead. Just skip the boss, like John Walker said. Now Souls-likes, they worship pain and strife, where every boss wants to end your life. You farm some moss, find a stick, pray a bit, then die, cause the Lich had a one-shot crit. But John Walker, nah, he ain't about that grind. He writes long blogs where he speaks his mind. Says bosses suck and should all be skipped, except the ones that let you cheese and dip. Skip the boss, John Walker wrote. They're gatekeeping trash, that ain't no joke. A game's no good if I'm stuck in place. Let me click through with some style and grace. Don't wanna learn his 6-phase plan. I've got books to read and shows to stand. Let him roar and foam and drop undead. I'm skipping him, like John Walker said. Boss music swells, flames ignite. Hood says you died, but you all tab mid-fight. You went on Steam, left a review, unplayable. There's a boss 0 out of 10. Respect. Skip the boss, we chanted song with John Walker. We all belong. To heck with trials and death-filled zones. Let's play games from comfy thrones. No to walls, no to stress. Yes to stories and cozy quests. Why fight God when you could bake instead? Just skip the boss, like John Walker said.
Welcome to the Alpha, strap in, let's roll. Marathons live and spiraling out of control. Mouse assists, wild headshots on blast. Even Stevie Wonder could snipe that fast.
Bungie said test this, it's hot off the grill, but the aim's so cracked it's practically ill.
Then boom, plot twist, forget the fragless, the biggest scandal pop, too loud to miss. An artist named N2 stepped into the chat, said, yo Bungie, you really use that? 2017, I dropped that design, now it's hanging in your alpha like it's totally fine. No mail, no tag, no legal reply, just my work on a billboard in $1 billion sky. You took the sauce, forgot the chef, and called it inspiration like theft ain't theft. From Trail plus Steel, you did it again. Stole my art like it's just a trend. No credit shown, no royalty split, just AAA silence and a graphics kit. Copy, paste, repeat, that's the deal. Mood board looting with mass appeal. No contract, no message, no nod, no crown, just $1 billion dev trying to hold it down. M2 pulled up with the files and the facts, screenshots hit like Destiny attacks. 10 years grinding, can't afford a case, while studios lift my style with no trace. From zines to screens, they swipe for years, and now they're ghosting like exo engineers. The pixels don't lie, the textures align, even AI screamed, yo, that's by design.
Mood board in, copy paste in. Why pay the artist when thefts so tasting. We'll patch the recall and smooth the frame, but the artists, now that's not our game.
They call it inspo, we call it theft. Another indie berry while execs get left. Sony dropped billions, 3.6 clean. Bought Bungie thinking, well, print green. Now they peek down from that PlayStation tower like you stole what? In our golden hour stacks tall as Babel, prestige in hand. You can't pay an artist for a poster so grand. You launched the next big IP of lies, now it's getting cooked before it can rise.
Sorrow plus steel, it's all on tape. Caught red-handed, no escape. Your aim was cracked, your credits fake. Your whole game's launch got served on a plate. You copy-paste intro, undo the shame for the world to see. Your PO's bad, your vibes are worse. You can't patch morals in your day one buzz. Shout out to Into, still holding strong while devs remix right and wrong. If you build your world off another's fight, then at least spell the damn name right. Spell the damn name right. Mic drop, Sony branded, still overpriced, still uncredited. Mic drop, Sony branded, still overpriced, still uncredited.
I'm too old for this crap. I've seen it all. Games used to be made, then sold. Now, they ship it broken, they milk you dry, and these shill reviewers lie. I hate Bungie, F them. Running up the price, broken at release. Every damn game needs a patch. It's a joke, it's a tease. They knew it wasn't done, but they pushed it out fast. Now I gotta wait a year till it's fixed. Kiss my ass. I don't wanna hear a thing until it's finished. They know when the game is done, but they still diminish. Make a game, sell a game, stop the greedy gimmicks. But they milk it, break it, loot box, take it. Damn it, I'm furious. Mow your industry. They lie, yeah, constantly. Mow your industry. It's all just robbery. Every ad they drop, full of corporate lies, saying it's revolutionary, but it's copy-paste disguise. Microtransactions, loot crates, scummy tricks, selling half a day for full price. Makes me sick. I'm too old, I've seen it all, it ain't impressing me. These companies are greedy, just a plague on the industry. I hate Bungie, F them all. Selling you a dream that's always gonna fall. Mow your industry. They lie, constantly. Mow your industry. It's all just robbery. DLC for the fix should have been in the mix. Day one patch, that's some corporate tricks. Press giving tens, but the game don't run. All these bought out critics need to shut up. Son, mow your industry. They lie, constantly. Mow your industry. It's all just robbery. They know when the game is done. I ain't falling for it no more. Make a game, sell a game, and stop the bullshit. I hate Bungie, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about marathons some more. We got another article from Paul Tassi, which is from yesterday, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Borderlands. So Borderlands games are being review bombed over a user agreement changes, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about SAG-AFTRA files unfair labor practice charge over the Darth Vader AI voice in Fortnite. And then we'll watch a review, if we have time, of the game I was playing last night that came out today at midnight, which was Roadcraft. So if you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Gaming Fire? What's going on, Eclipse? Sarge, Big Mo, Jason, what's going on? Water Bear, good morning. Kylo Green, Crowded House, how's everyone doing? Jason says right off the bat, he says, everyone should be defending Super Earth right now. Yeah, if you guys don't know, here, let's play it. We'll, I'll bring it up. Let's see. We got to bring up the Helldivers new trailer. Let's see. Helldivers 2 new trailer. Yeah, here it is.
Democracy burns. Super Earth.
This is it, Sarge. You gotta shit your pants right now.
The illuminate scourge lays waste to hallowed ground. Cities in ruins. Families torn apart. Flags disrespectfully soiled.
If you're not shitting your pants,
Billions
you're not doing
of
it
votes have already been lost. Could this be the end of managed democracy? Not today. Now is the time for full mobilization.
I mean, it's cool.
Every defender of peace, rally to arms. We will turn our streets into our battlefield. Our playgrounds into our theater of war. We will form the clenched fist of democracy and show them what true freedom is. Disciplined, armed, and absolute. Join the fight. Super Earth needs you.
If you're not defending Super Earth, you don't know about democracy, all right? So if you're playing Helldivers, big update just came out today. So make sure you go pick that up or update and go play it. Look, I loved Helldivers until Sony decided to, be the mom and dad that showed up for a house party and like completely destroyed sucked the air out of the room. Right? There's people having a party in the house, and mom comes home and is like, did you do your homework? Everyone needs to go home. I'm going to call all your parents. Right? That's what happened to Helldivers. Okay? But look, it looks cool. I don't know if I'm shitting my pants over it, but it definitely looks cool. What's going on, Argus? What's going on, Krebsy? Oh, you bringing that up, Krebsy? So it says, Krebsy says, so I have a question. What is this John Walker stuff? Because every time I hear it, I think of the U.S. agent from Marvel. John Walker, we read an article last week, Krebsy, of John Walker is a Kotaku article, blogger, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to call him a journalist. He wrote an article based on South of Midnight, saying that South of Midnight he had fun with, and the best part about South of Midnight was that there was an option that he could skip the boss, right? And we actually had a conversation about skipping the boss weeks ago when we played South of Midnight. He said that I wish you could just skip bosses. Like, he doesn't want to play Dark Souls. He just wants to walk around Dark Souls, like around the world. He wishes it could be basically in all games, you could just skip boss fights. So we made a song called Skip the Boss, like John Walker said. So that's where John Walker comes from. But I also want to show you guys this right here, which I think is pretty
Goldfish
funny.
beats God.
Okay, so let me set this clip up a little bit. Now, Brain Eclipse posted this in the general a couple days ago. Okay, speaking of John Walker, okay, John Walker wants to skip boss fights. Okay, wants to skip boss fights. So we're gonna bring this up, and I want you to listen to what's happening here. Okay, I want you to listen to what's happening here.
Oh, no. Woodley, I need you to heal. I need you to heal. My guy. I need you to heal. I need you to...
Okay, so what you guys, if you guys don't understand what's happening here, a streamer put a sensor over where the goldfish swims. And where the goldfish swims is the maneuvers that he does for the inputs for the game. And in the game, the goldfish is playing Elden Ring. Okay? He's playing Elden Ring. Okay? And in this clip of the goldfish playing Elden Ring, okay, he beats Godric. Okay, so let's watch this.
Get a heal. Toward the X. He was on the X. Yes. The full heal. That was huge. Okay, this could be it. Good damage. Good start. Good. Huge damage, actually. Good heal. Oh my god. Goated heal, actually. He's almost dead. One more hit. He's staggered. One more hit, Tortellini. One more hit. Tortellini, please stop healing. You don't have any heals.
The fact that the goldfish was healing, the goldfish doesn't know what he's doing, by the way. He's not like cognitive and he's like, oh yeah, I'm fighting the boss. He's literally just swimming around, right? And obviously he's planned out the keys based on where he swims and what he does and whatnot. So he's in this like lower quadrant here. So he's like healing. Okay. He's like healing. Let's watch it again, right? So you guys understand. Okay. The goldfish is fighting the boss. Okay.
Full heal. That was huge. Okay, this could be it. Good damage. Good start. Good start.
Goes on to X,
huge
R,
huge damage, actually.
goes left, goes back.
Good heal. Oh my god.
Heals
Goated
right
heal,
here as
actually.
the guy hits him.
He's almost dead.
He's almost dead.
He's almost dead. One more hit. He's
got one more hit.
One more hit, Tortellini. One more hit, Tortellini. One more hit. Tortellini, please stop healing. You don't have any heals. Let's go.
The best part about this is the fish's name is Tortellini. Tortellini, right? So the goldfish has beaten the boss in Elden Ring. Beaten the boss.
Well, I booted up south of midnight, feeling fine. Got my spells, my sass, I'm ready to shine. Then boom, big beast, 20 arms, breathing fire. I died so much, my controller retired. I tried to roll, parry, and dash on cue. Game said, get good. I said, nah, I'm through. And right when I almost snapped and quit, I heard a whisper, a gospel hit. Skip the boss, John Walker said. Just walk on past, don't be misled. Games ain't chores, they're meant for fun. So let that angry dragon stay undone.
So John Walker wants to skip boss fights, and the goldfish... John Walker wants to skip boss fights, but the goldfish beat... I believe it's the final boss? The final boss? Right? Waterbear says, or we think he doesn't know. I mean, you would have to know a goldfish. The goldfish doesn't know he's even playing a game at that moment. Do you think he's like the goldfish was watching as he's swimming? Like he's like watching the stream of himself? I mean, we all look pretty bad unless you beat this last boss in Elden Ring. If you played Elden Ring, I never fought the last boss. Right? I played the game up to like 50, 60 hours. I beat a lot of bosses. I just never finished the game. This goldfish beat the game. He beat the game. And we have John Walker who's complaining about skipping boss fights. Amazing. Amazing. The goldfish doesn't know? Yeah, he doesn't know. Do you think the goldfish knows his name? Do you think the goldfish knows his name is Tortellini? Maybe. Sarge says, what are we talking about? We're talking about a goldfish that just beat a boss in Elden Ring. That's what we're talking about. Al says, so you're saying calling John Walker a goldfish brain would be a compliment? Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. When a goldfish makes you look bad. It's the second boss, but still, that's impressive. Oh, it's the second boss. Okay. Right, Roic, right? He forget the goldfish is like, that's why he was healing so much. He was like, heal. Did I just heal? I'm going to heal again. Did I heal? I'm going to heal again. The human's like, stop healing, Tortellini. Stop healing. He's like, what? Heal? Okay, I'm going to heal. He healed like 6 times in a row. He's like, did I press X? I'm going to go press X. Did I press X? I'm going to heal, right? How's everyone doing, chat? How's everyone doing? I have no air conditioning. I got fans blowing towards me right now. Our air conditioning is working, but not working. It's being held off by the thermostat. The thermostat, which is this thermostat. Let me show you what thermostat we have. Let me show you this thermostat. Do they have a nice picture of this one? Okay, this is my thermostat. Okay, I have the Echo B thermostat, which when we purchased our AC unit, it came with this. Right, we had no choice of using analog. This is the thing that came with it. Okay, so as you can tell, it's a touch screen. It's digital. It's a computer on the wall. Okay, hooks up to your Alexa and whatnot, and it doesn't work if the screen is not on. So I woke up this morning. I'm hot. I go to the thermostat. The thermostat is black. It's just completely blanked out. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, let's try to progress here. Let's try to figure it out. Problem solve. So the first thing I do is I pull it off the wall. Okay? Look for a reset button of some sort. I find out there is no reset button, and yanking it off the wall is the reset button. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I waited a couple minutes, plugged it back in. They said, that should fix it. I'm like, didn't fix it. So then I went to the next step, and I went, let's check the breaker. Check the breaker. Breaker's fine. Then I went to the next step and went to the actual pipes and cleaned out the pipes, make sure there's no water inside the pipes or whatever. A little water came out, not like a tremendous amount, just like any kind of normal AC if you ever clean your AC. And then I was like, what could it be? So I've narrowed it down to the point of it's up in the AC unit itself, like the air handler part, there's a valve, a flood valve. I don't see a problem, but maybe it got triggered and now it's off, but I'm not allowed to touch it. I'm not allowed to touch it because if I touch it, it voids the warranty. Okay? It voids the warranty. So I'm not allowed to go past the point that I did. So I have to call a technician. And now I have to wait for the technician to come out between the hours of 9 to 5. Okay? So now I got to wait for the technician to come, and he can come in anytime. He could come right now, and then I have to stop. So we're just waiting, and I said, fuck it. I'm going to do the show. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come. But that's where we are right now. Is your app working? The app does not connect to it because the device itself is not on. Okay? So I can't do anything. It's wonderful. Wonderful technology we have nowadays. I used to have an old one where it was just an analog where you just slide the thing over to the temperature and you hit the up button and it turns on and turns off, right? So 3 to 5 is the true time. Yeah, maybe, Eclipse, right? So obviously it's going to get really hot. It's going to be about 95 degrees by the time I'm done this morning. It's going to be about 95. I might be sweating. It all depends on how angry I get as well as we read these articles. F&A, heads up, don't buy a Nest. Yeah, well, I was, when they first put this on my wall, I went, what happens if the screen goes out? And they said, it doesn't really happen. Did I hire Bungie to be my AC guys? I don't know. Incompetence. Stop breaking things. Right now, did I ever tell you guys about the flooding in my house that happened during the hurricane? I told you about the flooding that happened back in, right, during the hurricane back in September of last year. Okay. We're just getting from the city today. They just came out today to fix the berm on the street out front so our house doesn't flood. Today. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, halfway through May. 9 fucking months. I could have had another kid by now. Okay? And now they're outside fixing the problem I had 9 months ago. Now, I don't know if you know this. It rains in Florida. It rains in Florida. And where we're located, okay, where we're located, everyone's house across the street is up a hill. It comes down the road, and then it comes down into our grove because we live on a 40-acre like farm area, right? So it all comes down the road. So we built a berm up to a certain point, and they were supposed to continue it. Well, they never continued it. Okay, so obviously, when the water comes down the road, it then falls off to our grove, which then fills up and then runs to the lowest point, which comes towards our house, which is then flooding our house. So Mo says, speaking of weight loss, I'm down 40 and counting. Nice, Mo. Nice. John Walker would say, skip it. He'd skip it. What's going on, gentlemen? Gaming says, yeah, I got the same one after my Nest caused my regulator to open and close rapidly. Nice. Nice. Yeah, we got to love technology, right? Yeah, skip that 40. Skip that 40. 30's already ready for 2026. Krebsy, I've had a hell of a 5 months. Hell of a 5 months. Between my wife breaking her ankle, my son getting in an accident, our AC unit and electricity being fucked up, right? And those are just 4 of the things I'll share. I've had, and I don't think my 2025 is worse than someone else's 2025, all right? I've just had a pretty filled 2025 already. I don't know if I want to move to 2026. I don't think the grass is greener on the other side. It's just a lot's going on in the front half of 2025. It's front heavy. It's front heavy. Please don't hire Bungie for anything, not even for a funeral arrangement. Yeah. So let's get to the first story. Let's get to the first story, right? So we talked about Marathon yesterday. We talked about Crowded House says there's more grass. That's true. On the other side, there's more grass. It could be better, could be worse. You don't know until you really look at it, but there's definitely more grass. All right, so yesterday we talked about Marathon, okay? And Marathon, if you guys don't know, we watched Destin Liguri. We went over a couple articles. Bungie's in the middle of a theft scandal for the 5th time. And this is not including, actually 4 times. 5th with including the Red War story. So yesterday we read a Paul Tassi article from the 17th. And yesterday he wrote an article when we went live. We go live at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he wrote an article and posted it at 10:12 yesterday. So we didn't read this article yesterday. So I'm going to read it today and see if there's any kind of difference of what's going on. So it says, it's just over. It's over for Marathon, okay, by Paul Tassi, from Forbes. It says, I've tried to put this off for a while now, giving Marathon the benefit of the doubt in terms of fixing what ails it and maybe snagging the audience now large enough to make it at least sustainable, okay? But no, it's over. I can't dispute this anymore. This has probably always been true, but the events of the past week have cemented it. I will get into the live stream plagiarism and all of that later, but this is a long, long list of what's gone wrong in the past and what currently is going wrong and the future that does not look any brighter. Okay, so the concept. Okay, he says the entire idea of this game was a mistake. Okay, Bungie has said that this came from a bunch of them playing Tarkov a while ago, and I heard among the players that it was a good old boy in leadership who pushed to make the Bungie's biggest non-Destiny project, and it was meant to be the rebirth, or a strong IP for the studio, and now under Sony, which assumes it also would produce another hit like this. Now, the game attempts to split the difference between the casual player who may be new to the extraction shooter and the existing hardcore extraction player and would also like to pilfer from the games like Tarkov. It will do neither of these things, okay? It says you're never going to make an extraction shooter that is for casual enough because the concept of being able to lose your loot, potentially your entire vault, if you go on a bad run is exhausting, and as I should try to give the game and genre a chance. In addition to that, players will be losing all that gear and all of the upgrades that you've gotten in the seasons no matter what. That may be how the genre functions, but it's not going to be attractive to many players that have not already played this genre. I said this before we even saw one frame of Marathon. Okay, I said this years when we heard Marathon was being made. It was going to be about a year and a half ago. That was going to be Extraction, and when they changed Arc Raiders into an Extraction, I said, man, not that I'm giving shit to Arc Raiders. Look, people like extraction shooters, like the extraction shooters. I would have purchased, no doubt, Arc Raiders. When they first showed it, I was like, I'm buying that. I'm interested in that. That's what I want. Okay, but then they changed it. I like the developers of Embark. Okay, they're ex-DICE developers. They made the finals. They're making this. I like that studio because they're old DICE, and I liked old DICE. I don't like new DICE. Okay, but I don't like the genre of extractions, and I think Arc Raiders is going to hurt. Okay, now people are going to look at Arc Raiders and say, well, it's going to succeed. Yes, it's going to have big numbers, and it's going to drop off. I would say it's going to be around, not as popular as far as the amount of numbers it hits with like Marvel Rivals, but I think Arc Raiders will be popular, but it'll die off real quick because people want to give a shot to extractions. Good for Arc Raiders because they'll make the money if they're charging the money up front, but it's going to die off pretty fast for the majority of the players, and then it'll have that player base that's going to be on the lower scale because people just want to play a fun game. If it's fun, they'll play it, but the extraction genre is very brutal. A lot of people, I compare it to Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves, lots of people try it, but not a lot of people continue to play Sea of Thieves because Sea of Thieves is like an extraction in its ways when it first came out because you had to get the gear and try to get back to the island to extract the gold, but people would stop you in between. And if you have one bad run, you're like, fuck it, I'm not playing this game again. Okay. So it says it's probably even worse on a hardcore player end of Tarkov players scoffing at how easy Bungie has made Marathon. Everything from gear looting to kill the time to double revives in combat. I've seen almost no established extraction shooter players that are eager to jump in over Marathon for anything but a trial run based on what it has seen and played. People like Tarkov because it's tough. That player base likes that type of games. But why would they move from Tarkov to Marathon? Why would they move from Tarkov to Arc Raiders? There's got to be a reason. If it's the reason of, well, it does everything that Tarkov does and then better, or my friends are over there and that's where I'm going to go. But if they're established over in Tarkov world, why would they move to either Marathon or Arc Raiders? Arc Raiders, I think, has got a better chance than Marathon because of artistic style and stuff like that. Okay. It says gameplay. And what we've seen played in the next point, neither are good, neither have been an outside observer watching gameplay trailers and Twitch streams, or you get into the closed alpha and play it for yourself. He says the game feels uninspired. The shooting in Marathon is fine, but the experience doesn't compare to other titles from Bungie, which had to produce some of the best feeling shooters of all time. It feels like the slower version of Apex Legends with maybe a team fight per round and in between battling the UESC bots, which also I don't think can actually be fun. Which I do think can actually be fun in some instances. This is why I think they should have a PvE mode, standalone mode, where you don't have to go into the extraction type of stuff. Sort of like when people play the DMZ, even though the DMZ is not around anymore, I think, right? Call of Duty, I don't think they stopped supporting it, or it's still there, but not many people are playing it. But PvE and PvP, if you want to be more casual, Marathon wants to be more casual, but at the same time, they don't. They want to be where people are hardcore or whatnot to try to pull. It's just weird. They want to do one thing, but they also want the other. They want to be a high. They want to be out to the biggest platform possible, but at the same time, they're trying to get the hardcore people. It's weird. The idea of this and the extraction shooter that should also use a hero model has not landed well at all. It seems woeful, unbalanced, and fully invincibility, and wall hacks and things that also should not be in the game, this genre. It destroys the idea of making fully customizable characters like other games, something more most players like. It feels like a solution where problems did not exist, and the experiment to make a game stand out, but it's also just made it worse. Okay, none of this was helped by the exact same time, and Marathon Alpha was also interpreted by the interrupted by Arc Raiders Alpha, as much more traditional extraction shooter and much better one by all accounts. It's one more polished, more fun, more accepted features found in extraction shooters. All you have to do is look at the fact that Arc Raiders player count went up every single day of its alpha, where Marathon's almost always went down. By the end, it was sub 20%, and what it started with. Twitch viewers were also even worse, going from 150,000 at launch as big streamers tried it, crashing to 1,000 to 3,000 a few days later near the end, and where big chunks of them might even be one of the 2 Destiny streamers alone. Okay, just 2 people bringing in that amount of people. I think that obviously Arc Raiders went up and up because if you played Arc Raiders, they would give you codes, and then you would give it to your friends. So you were the seller for it. Right? And then that person would invite 2 people. And then when those people played a certain amount, they would also get codes, and it started spreading. Right? It started spreading, and that's why the player count went up. Because 1, the game is fun. 2, the people that were playing it were the word of mouth. They were going out. They weren't Bungie telling you, hey, this is going to be a good game. We're Bungie. We've made all of this. No, Arc Raiders was like, yeah, play our game. Oh, and here's 2 codes. Give it to your friends. Right? Play. Let us know what you think, type of stuff, right? So it says future plans and price. It's not just how the game currently feels and plays, it's what apparently is planning for the future. This was half the problem with the recent live stream, where sure, the vibes weren't bad with the recent plagiarism from the start, but hearing a game director Joe Ziegler and others talk about it, constant refrain it's looking about what we're thinking about that. The bulk of the talk was about minor balance changes, shield health, and backpack spawns, stack size, faction differentiation, and asked to name the biggest issue they found coming to the alpha, and Ziegler rattled off a list of impossibly small issues. Hugely request things like proximity chat, solos were hand-waved away, and regulated to some possible future plans. They have, and I've talked about this is like a whole different type of conversation. When I say make a game, sell a game, like you make the game and then you put that game out. That's for like a single player game, right? That's even for your multiplayer game that you want to do. That's just your game, okay? Make a game, sell a game. But in this day and age, when you're making a live service game and you open it up to people to play your game, to test your game, to help you refine your game. And then people tell you that we don't like this aspect of the game. We don't like this. We do like this. You need to add this. You need to take this out. People are not going to like this, right? And then you kind of just hand wave everything away. This is so close-minded because not only are you making a game and selling the game, but you're not taking any kind of feedback that people are telling you. The majority of the people that you want to play are telling you that you need to have solos, that you need to have some sort of PvE. They started telling them this 4 years ago, and they're just like, nope, don't hear you. We're going to go full steam with our possibilities of what we're doing with the game.
There's a truck in the grove. They're checking the trees or something.
Okay. Sorry, chat. My wife just came in. We have a bunch of people on the property and stuff, so she was just letting me know what was going on. So to say that you're not taking any kind of feedback or future possibilities and whatnot is just kind of weird. It says it's absolutely insane that Bungie has not taken to heart the feedback about how this game feels to play solo. It feels like the only way to play Marathon is to stack with friends on comms, as playing with randoms is the best coin flip, whether it's awful or fine. Going in solos is sulking around the rat voiding of all combat is boring. Okay, they don't want to put proximity chat in. Why? Have no idea. Okay, because the game ignores solos, that means you need to convince 2 friends to buy it. Likely an upcoming $40 price point. If it's too late in development to switch to a free-to-play, not that the genre is built for that anyway, but painfully, few people have played this game and thought it was worth the price. Without a delay, at launch, it also have 2 or more heroes, some new weapons and gear, and one of the 2 or more maps. That's it. It's a tiny amount of content for the price. On top of that, that's it. It's not even very fun for most players. Now let's get to the plagiarism. Okay? Now we arrive to the massive controversy of the art theft and the revelation of the supposed ex-Bungie artist outright stole a large amount of art from Anti-Real. The artist, with also a portfolio extremely similar to Marathon's vibes. Now, we're not talking inspired by. These pieces are one-for-one rips to the point of where Bungie was audited its entire game to see how many of these things there might be. During the live stream, they couldn't even show the game because it was being torn apart internally for this process. Within a matter of hours, as it began to spread, Bungie issued a statement saying it was a former Bungie artist who included the decals in the texture sheet and was ultimately went into the game, and the issue was supposedly unknown by the existing art team. But obviously, many, many questions have been raised about all that Bungie continues to investigate. Now, I have a question for you. I kind of looked into more information about the art director. The art director, I said yesterday, maybe he didn't know. He 100% knew, okay? Because he's been on the project the entire time. The entire time. Meaning he okayed this art sheet. He needs to be fired. Okay? What's his name? Cook? Okay? Cross? No, it's Cross. He is cooked. Okay? Cross needs to be fired. Okay? He allowed this to happen. He okayed this. And he's been that art director the entire time. Okay? So here's the artwork. Okay. We looked over this yesterday. Yeah, Joseph cooked. Yeah. The narrative spreads as players realize that a number of Bungie artists, including art director Joseph Cross, followed Anti-Real for years. Look, if I point to a duck and say that's a duck, or if I point to a pig and say that's a pig, it doesn't matter if the pig wears lipstick, it's still a fucking pig. This man followed her, the artist that they stole from, for years. For years. Now, 2, this is just my speculation, okay? He found out that the person that put the artwork in, somewhere through the lines, he found out that where the artwork came from and knew it was from her. That's why he followed her, to make sure to keep tabs on her if nothing pops up or something happens. And here we are. It's paying off big time here, okay? So he might have followed her to see what's happening if she ever finds out, okay? Well, here it is, okay? I find it really strange that it just so happens that some employee stole the content from her, and then a separate person happened to follow the account that this person stole from. I find it a little odd. I would love to know when the sheet was put in the game. I would love to know what the exact time frame that Mr. Cross here followed Anti-Real. What year? Okay? What year was it that submitted? What year did he follow her? You could follow the paper trail. You could follow when people followed you, right? You would know when was his account made, when was her account made, okay? You could get the gist of stuff. I just find it really odd that 2 people from Bungie, one stole, one followed, and been following for years. Okay. It says likely that Marathon's overall style came from any number of sources from years or decades past, though this fact, along with the direct lifting from anti-reels exploded into theorizing that it was also a larger problem on my end too for a time. But even if the entire soul of Marathon wasn't taken from the artist, art director Joe Cross, and members of his team allowed this massive portfolio of plagiarism to make it through from being stolen allegedly 5 years ago to being plastered all over the current build of the team, massive incompetence. That's right. People need to lose their jobs. Okay? This also was a slit the throat of Marathon. The one thing Marathon had going for it was the unique art style, which is not unique, okay, and a cool vibe. And now it will be impossible to bring that up without plagiarism being referenced. Memes were instantly born during the apology portion of the live stream, including "Plagiarism will make me God" and renaming the Marathon to Art Raiders. I didn't see that. Art Raiders, fantastic. That's going to stick forever. Okay. There's also no escaping this. Not that the vibes were also good before, but they're also dismal now. With Marathon at a laughing stock after happened, or even worse, outright anger that this was also allowed to take place in the game, and the players refusing to play and support the game as a result. Okay. He says a delay. Okay. We talked about a delay yesterday. I don't know. I don't think the delay is going to help this game at all. I think the game is done. I do. I think this game is done. Marathon will now not fundamentally change enough to be attractive to the most players' community sentiment, and will change enough to turn things around at the end. A delay does not significantly change any of this, but it may be the only option. It would be impressively stupid to actually release this game in 4 months, given both this recent events and they're only seeing a small amount of new content and some balance of visual polishing for launch. But it simply cannot cancel this game at this point after 5 years of work, even if it should have died ages ago. Sony alone would never allow that. See, I'm on the different type of, I don't think they delay it. Okay? I don't think they delay it. Sony has way too much money in this. Okay? They put $200 million, $250 million, $300 million into Concord, and they closed it in 12 days. Right? They paid $3.2 billion or $3.6 billion for Bungie. Okay? And they've gotten zero out of it besides the sales of the expansions and whatnot. They have yet to start recouping major the IP and what Bungie's doing. Okay, that's why they bought them. So Sony's like, we can't cancel it. We got to go full steam ahead. We got to eat this and move on with the studio that we took away from them when they fired a bunch of people. Okay, a delay is the only real option, but I don't think it changes enough to be useful. It will create distance from the current awfulness, but I also have nothing to indicate that this is going to happen, some transformation rebirth. The core concept of the hero shooter extraction game will not change. It will not erase the plagiarism that happened. No, it won't. Okay, unavoidable failure. I previously said that Marathon will not be Concord 2.0. While I will still technically believe, well, the AI disagrees with you, Paul. The AI in their own chat called Marathon Concord 2.0 is more a matter that just as badly that this fails, but not whether or not will it fail at all. I do not expect it to get 700 concurrent Steam players like Concord, nor be scrapped in 2 weeks by Sony. But it will not do well. This is not set in stone right now, but bearing some sort of miracle airdrop of players and goodwill from the heavens. This will hurt Bungie and the actual healthy child of Destiny. The healthy child of Destiny. There'll also be layoffs. There will also be Sony takeover of leadership as they bail out the millions who invested in cash. They should. Sony should completely cut out everybody. Take a surgical knife. Forget the surgical knife. They need to just broadly wipe out everybody and hire brand new people. Okay? Get rid of everybody. Pete Parson, everybody. Everyone gone. See you later. Sony's now taking over. Okay? Because Sony cannot afford to have another mishap. Okay? And this is another mishap. Okay? Too far in terms of Sony being embraced, a story brand has collapsed under its tenure, and one they paid $3.6 billion for. It would also be a horrible look to immediately kill another game like they did with Concord, and Marathon will be given some time to fix and improve things. I don't think any amount of time will be enough. I realize this is an utterly brutal article. This is the longest one I've ever written in ages, but this is also the point where no doubt of writing this on the wall is distinguishing to ignore, or disingenuous to ignore that. I will also continue to cover the game And good things happen. I will also write about that, and bad things keep happening. I will write about that. But I think overwhelmingly bad things from here. For the most part, I mean, I agree, Paul. I agree what you're saying. I get the sentiment, right? And nothing they can do is going to help this game. This game is going to fail. If it fails in 12 days, like Concord, or if it fails in 12 months, like another game, this game is done. Okay, there's no way that this game, and you're gonna get articles. Here we go. You're gonna get articles that come out. Okay, because IGN has already done this. IGN praised Marathon. They were praising Marathon on how good it was, and IGN was also shitting on Arc Raiders. Okay, we watched one of the reviews. The guy was just like, it's nothing big, it's nothing. But yet the sentiment, from the audience loves Arc Raiders and hates Marathon. But the critics love Marathon, and they're just okay on Arc Raiders. Isn't that weird how that works? It's almost the same type of stuff that works in the film industry when critics love something and the fans hate it. And when the fans love something, the critics hate it. Very rarely do we get the critics and the fans being together on stuff. Okay? So what's going to happen to Marathon? I think Marathon on course, choo-choo. They're going to come out in September. If they delay it, it's still going to be this year sometime, maybe one extra month or whatever. It's still coming out this year. Sony has to put this out because they have to do a Hail Mary bomb. They're like, well, let's see what happens. If the worst happens, we close it down, but we got to try. We got to put it out because we're not going to get a better shot than what we have today. We're not going to get a better shot with Grand Theft Auto pushed to May next year. We have a 6-month window from our launch date to where that launches, and we either have to get it out and it works, or we have to get it out and fix it with that 6 months to try to get people to come back and play the game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations about it. I give you my thoughts and opinions, and I go to your thoughts and opinions in live chat. Hit that like I said. If you'd like to go above and beyond, become a member as little as $5. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. So this is bad. This is bad. This is bad for Marathon. This is bad for Sony. Sony's like, I don't want to say like the sky is falling, right? Because obviously, stuff like this has happened to other studios, other corporations, other publishers. All right, Microsoft had this with Redfall and other things. I don't think Sony's like in disarray of like they're going to close shop. It's over for Sony. No, I think Sony's like, the fuck did we just get? What is happening here? We paid $3.6 billion to this company. We've had nothing but problems since we purchased it. We got court cases happening for people stealing actual story from the Red War. Okay, we got plagiarism things happening. We got people that are firing, and we have people that were being accused of other things. Right, like nothing as good has come from Bungie. They canceled other games because they didn't okay it. Like, Sony's like, what did we pay for? And they'll make changes. Okay? But Marathon as a game is done. Bungie as a publisher needs to get cleaned house. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's the guy who just got hired last week or if the person that's been there for 15 years. Everything must go. Right? It's like a sales event. It's like one of those appliance places. Everything you see, it all must go. Right? Like, you cannot leave anyone there. Everyone has to get fired. Everyone has to get brand new jobs, bring new people in, bring new blood in, bring a new mindset in, okay? And make sure they're not plagiarism. Make sure that they're not stealing from other people. What do you guys think? Let me scroll back up here. Krebsy says Joseph Cross might be the least being investigated for or fired, since during the stream, you can hear it mentioned he was kicked from the Discord. Wait a minute. Joseph Cross might at least be being investigated or fired, since during the stream, you can hear it mentioned he was kicked from the Discord. Kicked from what Discord, Krebsy? I missed that. What was he kicked from Discord from? Like, kicked Discord from, like, Bungie's Discord? Crowded House says they can't cancel it, though. Yeah, I don't think they cancel it. Full steam ahead. They can cancel it. They canceled Concord. Well, no, they didn't cancel Concord. They let Concord launch, and then they obliterated it. Canceling it would be it doesn't come out. Mo says that's funny how they paid double what Microsoft paid for the Red Ring of Death. I heard that yesterday, and it was so true. Sarge says you got to gut them. Hal says canceling the game will allow Sony to instantly take over. They also try even if there's only 1% chance. Roic says only a complete rework would give it a chance, and if it comes out as it is, it will fail. Whether it's 2 weeks or 6 months, I hate it for the devs that were forced into making this. Yeah, there's no difference between this and the devs who were forced to make Suicide Squad. There's no difference between this and the people that were forced to make Redfall. You know what I mean? Same exact thing that's happening, just now with what a lot of people would say a beloved Bungie. I wouldn't. Krabby says they should take systems and Marathon and implement those into Destiny 2 and use others to spin up a Destiny 3 development. Sarge says bought and paid for. Oh, you're talking about IGN? Krabby says the article that sourced Paul said Marathon needs to break into top 5 NPD sales of the year to be considered a success. Well, that's not going to happen, huh? What about this? If they top 5, right? Top 5. What happens if they go free to play? I don't think they are, but what happens then? Are they just done? Drummond says, yeah, IGN is going to still review Marathon and give it to emphasis a 7 out of 10. Yeah, no, they're gonna rave about it. Mo says Sony's fumbling the ball again. I think all companies fumble the ball. Mo, right? I think all companies fumble the ball. Microsoft was there. Microsoft kind of still there. They're fumbling the ball. They raised the prices of their fucking consoles like idiots. Roadkill says Sony got to be pissed. So 2 in a row, giant failures like this, and also got to say that to get me the fuck away from my live service. I hope that's what they're saying. They canceled 5? Was it 5? 4, 5 live service games? Maybe more. They're still working on a couple. They're not dying, but they're bleeding out. Roadkill says, rip that shit apart, build it back better. Let's go the Trump way. Build it better. It's like the $6 million man. We'll build him better. Whatever Discord used for stream, he needed to go back and listen to it again. But I don't understand so whatever Discord they use, they kicked him. They banned him from that Discord. But why would they ban him from that Discord? Like they banned him from Discord, or he banned somebody else from Discord. I'm a little confused on what you're saying. Sorry. Can they release the game without clearing up all the shit within the artist? I think they could. Or if they do, the artist could sue for everything. We talked about this yesterday a little bit, Roadkill. I would have stayed quiet if I was the artist. I would have waited for the game to come out and then spoke up, because what they can do now is they can completely wipe it clean and no harm is done. Yes, they stole it, right? The goodwill and the morals and everything about Bungie is trashed right now, regardless. But they clear it out. She doesn't really have a case because they didn't make any money off of it yet. You know what I mean? But as soon as they launched it, made money off the actual thing, made T-shirts, candles, whatever else, she would have a bigger case. She still has a case. Don't get me wrong. Okay? She still has a case. But if they wipe it all clean, there's less damage there. Less damage for Bungie. Hal says, but if they're following the artist, how could it be stupid enough to think that she wouldn't see her on the building in the game? It's not adding up for me. The way I look at it, I would have to know more, but the context that I'm speculating in my head, I want to say that out loud. I'm speculating. If it was 2 years ago, it's, maybe it's just coincidence. But if he followed her 4 to 5 years ago, okay, now I don't know how long he's followed her for. The artist submitted it back in 2017. She worked on it. They've been working on this game for 5 or 6 years. He's been working on it cross for about 5 years. Okay, 5 or 6 years. So when was the sheet submitted? If he was following her back in 2017, she worked on it in 2017. Maybe the artist that got fired, found it in like 2020, which is 3 years later. They started working on the game. If he followed her, right, either he knows that this person stole it and then they started following her to kind of like see stuff, or it's just so happenstance that he's following the same person that they stole from. It's just a little weird. It's just a little weird. Rowick says, I wonder if they had the situation like Anthem that they had where they were also too many ideas and didn't come together. Perhaps, Rowick. Perhaps. Roadkill says they shouldn't let it go free to play because there's tons of people also would jump in just to see how much of a failure it is. Well, at least they would have a player base at that point. Yeah, no, I don't think they should go free to play either, but it'll be interesting to see what they charge. Probably 40, maybe 50. Mo says they were having problems with Discord, is what I heard. The artist needs a copyright lawyer ASAP. Mo says the whole game is hers apart pretty much, and they also have made a new game design. Here's the thing, Mo. They didn't only just steal her art, they also stole her music. They stole the music. Helldivers 2, man, or at least let me rephrase that. In a video I watched, they also stole her music. I don't know if it's true yet. No one else has reported on it. But they stole other things than just her artwork from her. Helldivers 2, man, we're fighting for Super Earth. We need you, Helldivers, now. $5 super chat. Thank you much, Roadkill, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, we showed the trailer first thing in the morning as soon as we started the show. They have her damn name in the game. It's blatant theft. Yeah. Screenshots, baby. Sony can keep those bums. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Bungie itself, the studio. Honestly, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. Yeah, it's a few people that did the bad stuff, and the whole company goes down for it. But you got to clean it out. You don't know who you can trust and who you can't trust. Right? And if they steal one time, you're like, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, dating back to 2012? Come on. I see it, the way I look at it, Argus, you're saying that they should have just hired her and they were going to do it at all. Of that is going to cost them more than they were trying. But they thought they could get away with it. They're only mad because they got caught. Okay? And now if you hire her, now you're just trying to cover your ass. And I don't think Sony wants to hire her. Because if you hire her, I wouldn't hire her. I would just pay her for her work. Eat that cost. Hiring her would just be, you're stealing from her. It's going to be this weird relationship where she can't trust people. You know what I'm saying? So I would just pay her for the work that you use it in so you don't have to change the whole inner workings of the whole thing. Have her sign something that says you can't sue us now because we paid you for your work or whatnot. But I don't think I would take that. If I was her, I would not take that. I would go in for the kill. Right? Not only did they steal your shit, but they were trying to get away with it without trying to get you. And now they come and get you. Right? To kind of silence you. So I would take them to court. I just would have done it differently. I don't blame her for doing what she did. Because I think it would be very overwhelming if you found out that a company, a major corporation, Sony, Bungie, stealing from you. But I would have stayed quiet until it launched. And then I would have went in for the kill. Because you would have a much, much bigger case. Argus says, I meant they should have hired her and work at the beginning. It's too late for that now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, you know, it's funny. People talk about this, Roadkill. So Spider-Man, what's the company that makes Spider-Man? And Ratchet and Clank? I forget the company's name. It's in the top of my head. I can't think of the name. Insomniac approached Microsoft first, right? And they approached them first, and they said, we don't want to make that. And then Sony picked them up, and they had a big hit on their hands, right? There's been other things in the past where Microsoft said, no, we don't want that. And then Sony picked it up, and they were very successful. This is one of the things that Microsoft turned down, Sony picked up, and it fucking backfired in their faces. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. Clip of Joe Cross getting kicked from Discord. All right, let me see. Where'd it go?
Instead of would it not make more sense to employ the artist, who obviously has nailed the aesthetic you're looking for, and keep the assets as they are?
Sorry, Joe
and
Cross.
I can jump in with the answer unless you want to take it, Cross.
I know Cross he got kicked out of the Discord for some reason. Like, I'm staring at his machine, so that we might have a technical issue right now. Do you want to? They're basically asking, wouldn't it be easier just to hire someone to remake?
But what would that have to do? I just don't understand. Okay, so he got kicked out. He got knocked out. That happens sometimes in Discord. I don't understand the reference of, are we saying, Krebsy, that somebody on Bungie removed him from the Discord?
Make the assets as opposed to, sorry, do you want to repeat the question? Apologies.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you repeat it? Yeah. Just so I can relay it to Cross, because Cross can't hear you right now. But
instead of scrubbing so many assets, would it not make more sense to employ the artist, who obviously has nailed the aesthetic?
So the question was, instead of scrubbing all the assets, wouldn't it be easier to employ the artist who made all the assets?
Yeah, I mean, and for what it's worth, we're confident the majority.
Yeah, I don't see the correlation. I don't see the correlation between him getting kicked out of Discord and whatnot, because it happens all the time. Argus says even with the Red War original campaign might have been a stolen idea. No, it was. 100% was. Hence why they had to remove it. That's why they removed it, so they don't get fucking sued. But they're getting sued. But they have no proof, and the only proof they have is this clips from YouTube. A clip says, so they canceled Spider-Man, a multiplayer Spider-Man for this? They canceled a lot of stuff for this. Mo says, well, if you look hard enough, they stole that shit and they admitted to it. So whatever you like it is into is a lie. Oh, you're talking to Crowded. I got you. Yeah, it kicks Travis out every once in a while. It does kick people out of Discord. It is weird. He could be under investigation. At him getting kicked is him basically getting suspended. No, I don't think that. If anything, why would they do it during the live show? That would be more moronic if they did during the live show. Like, put him out there and then do it live on stream? I don't know. That seems a little far-fetched. And I love shit like that, but I don't see that. The whole Red War is stolen and is no longer in the game. That's exactly why it's not in the game. I would agree with the Joe Cross joined back into the Discord, but for the rest of the stream, he doesn't seem he got back into the Discord. I mean, I get it, Krebsy, but I wouldn't correlate that he got fired or kicked him out of the Discord from there. I don't know. Like, who's in charge of that? Would Bungie be in charge of that, or would like Sony be like, pull him out of there type of stuff? Because if anything, if he was fired, they'd be like, we'll be back in just a second, and then he would have to get off camera or something and then bring someone else in. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. This is more like Grand Theft Auto conspiracies right now than anything else. That's the real question. That's the real question, Krebsy. Why would you run an AMA with dog shit audio tech issues, especially after getting outed for theft? Well, here's the thing. This stream got delayed 2 times before it launched. right? It was supposed to happen 2 times before, and they kept postponing it. And then they said, okay, let's go with it during this whole ordeal, which is kind of weird. I want to know whose call that was. They've been stealing designs and ideas since before the launch of D2. No, they've been just stealing ideas since 2012, which is before Destiny 1, Argus. Sarge says they are artistically dishonest, creatively bankrupt. It's just basic theft. All right, let me see. They make it hard as hell to support them. I mean, I would stop support. I have stopped supporting them. I have stopped supporting them. I'm not telling anybody else what to do or not do. I've stopped with them. Roic says they couldn't hijack another stream, so that was all they could do, or all they could muster. I'm getting the impressed Krebsy has a Bungie obsession. Maybe, but Krebsy loves Grand Theft Auto, and this is a good Grand Theft Auto, like, red, board, that meme of the guys going, oh, yeah. Yeah, all that stuff. You're pointing at the connection points. I mean, I get it. I just don't see anything with it. I mean, you could say the same thing when Travis plays with us on Discord for Borderlands, and he gets randomly kicked out of the thing. I didn't kick him out. No one else is touching Discord, so it's either user error. I don't know how they connected in the Discord. If it was a computer, if it was a cell phone, and they had the cell phone hooked up to the thing, and it went to sleep. It could be 1,000 different things. Yeah, I didn't. I've stopped supporting him for years. And again, I'm not telling anybody else you should stop supporting them. You do what you want. It's getting pretty hot in here, guys. It's getting pretty hot. All right, let's go to the next story. The next story is discussing TOS Borderlands game are being review bombed over user agreement changes. So I don't know what this is about. Let's see what it's about. Oh, it's so many ads, man. Look at this banner. Like, get this off the screen. Can I get this off the screen, please? No, can't get it off the screen. All right, cool. Really? That's going to stay like that? Can I go even bigger? Nope, still stays there. All right, we'll go there. In recent years, the review bomb has become a preferred choice of gamers to voice their frustrations or thoughts on particular product. Well, you know why? Because no one fucking listens. Try to contact a corporation and talk to somebody. You can't. It's impossible. Press 1, press 0, press 2. Hold on. Here's a thing. Put a note in. Here's our email. F you. They're like, you know what? You know what you'll listen to? Review bombing. Yeah, because that's what you guys care about. Metrics. Okay? So it says to voice their frustration and thoughts on particular products. In the case of Helldivers 2, a review bomb was executed over the game's PSN requirements. Elsewhere, the fans reviewed bombed Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines 2 over disappointing nerfs. Okay? It's a significant enough movement that even Take-Two publisher Grand Theft Auto noted that financially filing that the review bomb could have adverse consequences, including reputation, harm, and financial losses. That's right. That's right. This is exactly why people do it, because there's no other way for us. Hence why there's a push for them to not be able to review bomb unless you purchase the game and do all the other stuff. No. Okay? The people want to be heard. Sorry. Social media is a fantastic and terrible tool all at once. Fantastic because when good conversations happen, you can have good conversations with people you would never ever had conversations with. When bad conversations happen, you got to take the bad conversations with the good. Okay, so now it appears that Borderlands franchise has become the latest subject of such actions. Okay, it says the new EULA is blamed for Borderlands tanking reviews. As the first spot on Games Radar, the franchise as a whole has become a subject of review bombing campaign over reported new changes to the end user license agreement. Okay, indeed, taking a look at Steam for the original Borderlands, is the most recent release of Borderlands 3 is no longer a shortage of negative reviews, which has in turn placed the game as a mixed status. We're playing right now. We're having a blast playing Borderlands 3. I played it 5 years after. Why? Because they did stupid shit 5 years ago. Okay? So now we're playing it because it's on Game Pass, and now they're doing more stupid shit. Imagine big corporation doing stupid shit. Okay? And the Invasion update effectively turns the game into a spyware and encourages others to report the game to Steam for disingenuous invasion of privacy. One reviewed read in part, when the problem is reversed, will I delete this review? Okay? Here's the Reddit user. People are review bombing Borderlands games because Gearbox/2K Games made the EULA changes. Okay, many of the reviews echo similar sentiments. With the Games Radar noted that some fans aren't convinced that the EULA, has even changed in the first place. In a Reddit thread converting the situation, one user noted that the EULA, that is available isn't much different from the EULA that existed back when the players agreed to. Okay, it says it's worth noting that the root level access, which is being railed against by players, is not uncommon in multiplayer first games, including those from Riot. Additionally, it appears that the EULA is also a generalized document that covers the entirety of the Take-Two and not just Borderlands specifically, meaning not everything will impact Borderlands and vice versa. As a final note, the EULA was also updated in late February, making the particular situation all more bizarre, given that it's mid-May. Well, here's the thing. People don't read the EULA. They don't. And it updates all the time. When your game logs up and you have to hit OK, you've accepted the terms of service for the new EULA. All the time this happens. Okay? Because here's your option. Here's your option. You own the game. You bought the game. Okay? You have the game. You've been playing the game. And all of a sudden they decide, after the fact of you purchasing the game for what it was, they want to change things in the background. So now you have to say, okay. You don't get a choice of, nah, I can't agree, because if you can't agree, then you can't play the game that you purchased, that you bought, that you've owned for multiple years. You can no longer play that game if you don't agree to the EULA. So your only option is hit OK, take it, suckers, or don't play the game. I already purchased the game, right? But now I can't play the game because I refuse to play choose OK for the new EULA. You have no option, right? So there's the situation, okay? They're saying it's weird because it happened in February. Well, someone took the chance, or took the time, I should say, to read the EULA. And they went, oh, well, this changed. Maybe I should write an article about this. Maybe I should put it on Reddit. And then someone else saw it on Reddit and said, wait a minute, that changed? I didn't know that, because they just hit X to continue. A to continue, okay? But now people are bringing it up, and now people are going, wait a minute, this changed, and they don't like it, so now they're review bombing. You've put the walls up. You, the corporations, put the walls up, okay? If something goes wrong, I can't just pick up the phone and contact tech support and be like, hey, this is a problem I don't want to talk to, right? Talk to somebody. Please press 1. Please press 0. If you'd like to talk to a representative, right? You don't even get that anymore. You get nothing. There's no email you can contact. There's no person on Twitter you can contact. No one wants to talk to you. No one can call on the phone. Nothing actually happens anymore. So what do you have to do? Well, you got to review bomb. You got to be like, hey, how do we get attention of the actual company? And they're like, downvote, downvote, downvote. And most companies, they don't give a shit, to be honest. You know why they don't give a shit? Because they already got your $50. They already got your $60. They already got your $70. They already got your $80. They already got your $120 special edition stuff, and they don't give a shit because you are already giving your money, and now a new person's coming in giving them their money, and they don't read the EULA either. So when a small group of people start to make a big fuss and make these things known to people, that's when they get a little nervous. They're like, oh, God, our secret's out. We've changed the EULA, and you own nothing. Nothing's going to change. And if it does change, it's going to change until the next EULA. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here. I just give you my thoughts on the news articles, and I get your thoughts afterwards. Please hit that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Going off the Borderlands article, check the general. Randy's saying dumb shit again. All right. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay. Is this the... Okay. This is how it works, chat. Like, things like this just happen live, and we just kind of move over and just do some stuff here. So it says, replying to Randy Pitchford, he says, Randy, this game better not be an $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed the notion that it consists of increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have to have some say with the price when it comes to the publisher. Randy Pitchford says, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starfleet for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when it was just out of high school, working minimum wage, an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. All right, cool. I mean, this person says if you make it $80, he's not purchasing it. Not that he can't purchase it. He's saying that I'm not paying $80, and he's saying go get a job. He's saying go get a job. Randy Pitcher's like, I did it. I did it back in 1991. I paid $80 for my game. I'm a fan. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of Borderlands? If you're a real fan, right? He just called him, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way. He's a fan. He's saying, no, I'm not paying $80 for a fucking video game. Why is that hard to understand? Do you know why Doom is not selling well right now? Do you know why Doom is not selling well right now? It's because it's $70 fucking dollars. It's $70 fucking dollars and $100 for 2 days early access. Like, you know what I mean? The millionaire, right? Well, actually, I don't know if he's a millionaire. Let me check real fast. Let me check what Randy Pitchford's worth. Randy Pitchford, co-founder and former CEO of Gearbox Software, has a net worth of around $10 million. Yeah. Yeah, now, I'm not saying because he's a millionaire, he's a bad guy, right? But it's a lot easier for someone that's a millionaire to say, go get a job, brokey. Obviously, we don't know. We don't know if Mr. Person here has an actual, where's the right? We don't know if this person has a job or what they do for a living, okay? Right? It could be a teenager. Who knows, okay? He's just saying this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80, right? It sounds like he's coming from a place of, hey, man, I want to see Borderlands 4 do really well. And if you make it $80, I don't think it's going to do very well. Right? That's what it sounds like he's doing. Nowhere do I see this guy saying that, talk to Randy Pitchford saying, hey, Randy, I'm a broke boy and I can't afford $80. Please don't make it $80. He's saying don't make it $80 because if you make it $80, you're going to run off people that don't want to pay for the game. And Mr. Randy here is saying, well, get a job. Go get a job if you can't afford it. It's not about affording. It's about not wanting to pay $80. And since games, movies, music have to make most of their money up front right away, that's what's happening. Now, obviously, with Doom, okay, it's on Game Pass and whatnot, but people are not buying it for full price. Why? Because there's so many games out, right? I bought Roadcraft yesterday. Do you know why I bought Roadcraft yesterday? You know what the big selling point was Roadcraft yesterday? Wasn't because it was I like SnowRunners. It was I like SnowRunners. I like the company, and it was $40. $40, $50 with the extra content that was on it. $50, not 60, not 70, not 80, not 90, not 100, 120. It was $40 for standard, $50 for the extra bonus stuff, okay? And since I know I'm going to like the game, I paid $50. If that game was $70, $80, I wouldn't have purchased it. Not because I don't have the money, because I don't think that game is worth $80. Right? So Randy Pitchford over here saying, get a job. He didn't actually say that, but that's what he's saying. Right? Because if you're a real fan, you're going to find a way to make it happen. Yeah, if you're a real fan, you'll go steal from people because you really want to play that. Like you're a junkie or something from you want drugs. You're like, I murdered this person because I wanted to get drugs. Yeah, you're going to make it happen. Make it happen. Right? No, he's telling you don't make it $80 because $80 is too much and most people are not going to buy an $80 video game. Is that so hard to understand? Krebsy says the only people that can buy games are at $80 are real fans. That's right. Real fans. You know why I paid for Dragon Wilds in early access? Because it was $30. Do you know why I bought said other game? Right? What was the other game I just bought recently? I can't remember. It's like $30. It was another $30 video game. I guess I'm not a real fan, though. I guess I didn't play RuneScape for 5 years straight when I was younger. And I'm not a real fan because I didn't pay $80 for Dragon Wilds. I guess I'm not a real fan of RuneScape, even though one of the creators of RuneScape made another game called Brighter Shores, and it was $25. But because I didn't pay $80 for that game, I'm not a real fan. Go fuck yourself, Randy. Eclipse says, I mean, look at Exposition 33. Still has 70,000 people playing there. You know why? Because of $50 video game. That's right. It's a good game and it's $50. Salty says, I prefer to be a smart fan. Exactly right. I wish I had more fans. I'm starting to drench my shirt here. How big is a new Borderlands game? Because I just played Doom Eternal, and based on that, I can say I wouldn't pay $70 on the new Doom. I don't think based on size. What is size? Is it? Do I have a large map, but the game only costs $30? But they have a large map, but it costs $80? Like, the price of the game should be based on what the budget of the game is, not anything else than that. If it costs them $150 million and they want to make that money back within a certain period of time, they can charge $60 and make it back in a year and a half, or they charge $80 and make it back in 6 months, right? Like, the budget has everything to do with it, not what the amount of stuff in the game has to do with it. Because then if we go by that logic, then Grand Theft Auto 5 should be $200 for the amount of content that's in that game. Roadkill says, yeah, I bought a couple of expensive games like Star Wars Outlaws, the deluxe edition, and broke my soul so bad that I don't really want to rush out and buy games anymore. And Roadkill, you can go buy games day one, right? I've always said on my channel, just look. There's so many ways to look at a video game before you buy it day one, before you pre-order, before you give them $120, $200, right? I know so many people that got burnt on Battlefield 2042 because they loved Battlefield. They didn't want to listen to me, and they went and purchased Battlefield. And it wasn't that I'm like, I told you it's going to suck. There's so many ways to go look, so many streamers, YouTube channels, there's articles. There's so many ways for you to tell if a game is good or bad. Don't blindly love something because you love a franchise. Look into it, right? Look into it. Sarge says greed on top of greed on top of greed. Got to keep the lights on. Krebsy says these are the people in the C-suite across the industry. Randy is a magician, so he can't be magically drop the price. Waterbear says, are you going to pay $100 for GTA 6 when it drops $30? I honestly don't know. It all depends on what comes out. I mean, obviously, you waited 12, 13 years for Grand Theft Auto 6. Obviously, the hype's going to be there, Water, where it comes out and there's going to be articles and people streaming it, and you're going to look at it and go, oh, man, it looks so fucking good, right? And there's going to be that chance that I buy it for $100. As of right now, am I going to buy it? No. I'm not going to buy it for $100 if it's $100. If it comes out and it's $70, $80, all depending what else comes out that time frame, and I'll look at it and go, okay, I'm going to buy that game because nothing else is coming out that I'm interested in the next month or two, then I'll purchase that game. If there's something that comes out that I'm interested in, that I could pay $30 and buy 3 games for $30 a piece and spend $90, then I'll purchase those 3 games for $90, then the 1 game for Grand Theft Auto. But that's just me. Right? This is normal, right? What about if my car breaks or something else happens or I got to give something or something, all of a sudden $100 for a video game, I'm like, I can't afford that this month, so I'm going to wait because I'm using that $100 for something else. That's real life stuff that happens. Ron Slusher says, should there be a governing body that regulates the limit on how much you can spend on a game development? No, Ron. I think based on, like, again, we'll bring up Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 5 sold 230 million units. They sell 5 million units every whatever. Okay, every year they've been averaging 20 million units. They know what the game costs, and they know what they can get for it, right? And they know what their interests are. So should they be punished because they're spending $2 billion on a video game where someone else can only spend 200 million or someone can only spend 2 million? I don't think so. I think they're okay to do whatever they want and price it based on what the budget is, not what the size of the amount of game is. Because if it's about the stuff that you can do in the game, then you'll be like Ubisoft, where they put as much shit in the game as possible, but nothing really matters. It's just to fill the game with bloat. Just so what, they could charge more money? Meanwhile, Expedition 33 is $50 and most liked game of the year. What's going on, Dave? Crowded House says, I heard rumors that the budget for GTA 6 is like $1 billion. I've heard up from $1 billion to $3 billion. So who knows? Mo says GTA is trash, not worth $100, but I will play it when it drops in Game Pass. Well, it will drop in Game Pass because the other ones have dropped in Game Pass. Obviously not day one, but down the road it will. And you can wait, right? Z says, once you stand up for the FOMO, it gets easier. You get feel great, even if you slip from time to time. Salty says, makes no difference to make billions back. Krabsy says, launch at $100, then you get a single player or online separately for $50. Z says, thank you, Backlog. GTA 5 is in Game Pass. I'm not even playing that through the subscription. Well, it's also been out for 13 years. Yeah, 13 years. If you haven't played it in 13 years, you're probably not the clientele that's going to play Grand Theft Auto. Krebs says 1 to 1.5 for GTA 6, budget plus marketing $2 billion. Roic says if you get it, it will only be for the PC, and even if that means I have to wait a little longer. Right? If you waited 13 years, Roic, what's 14 or 15? Plenty of games coming out. Got plenty of games coming out. Quintar says, I love how they try to push all the licenses fees for music on gamers. The company will always push everything on the consumer. They will never eat the costs. Okay, nobody eats the cost anymore. Back in the day, people would eat the cost because the greater of more clientele down the road. Now they're like, we want it up front, and we want more clientele, and we're going to get backlog, and we're also going to charge for microtransactions, and we're also going to charge for the battle pass, and we're also going to raise the prices, and they're going to do it always. More money all the time. All right? Salty says, my backlog is going to keep me busy for years, and the new releases here and there. Look at my issue, right? My issue that I have with my backlog right now is that we were playing a game. We were playing Avowed, right? We played Avowed, and then Adam Fall came out, right? And then we finished Avowed, and then, we played South of Midnight, right? South of Midnight was the top of the thing. Then Adam Fall came out and went like this, and then South of Midnight went down. And then another game came out, Dragon Wilds, and that went up above, and then that got pushed down, right? I haven't finished these two games, right? And then another game came out, and that goes to the top, and then that goes down. Then Tower Board came out, and then that got pushed down. And then now I'm playing Roadcraft. Roadcraft is up at the top, and then all these other games, right? And then Then I'm playing Marvel Rivals still. And then I'm playing SnowRunners again. Then I'm playing Fortnite with my kid, right? So my backlog just keeps getting a list of longer and longer stuff. And I can never catch up. I can never play. I have so many games to play. Okay? Then I have Kingmaker coming out. Then we have whatever else is coming out on Game Pass in the future, right? There's like these little indie games that are coming out on PC. Plenty of games. Plenty of games, free to play. Small fee, $30, $40, $50, right? Game Pass games, plenty of fucking games. I don't need to pay $80. I don't need to pay $100. I don't need to get 3-day early access, right? I can go back and play Helldivers right now, right? Helldivers right now, I can go play Helldivers. Right? I need a life preserver. I need a life preserver and a rope thrown to me because I'm drowning in video games. So many. These guys pay artists just to make songs, just to get GTA, of course, and they're going to charge you for that. Greed. Yeah? Well, here's the thing. If it was Grand Theft Auto, the original Grand Theft Auto, and a person came up to you and said, hey, I would like to put your music in my game, and they're like, yeah, sure. Right? I'll charge you $10. But now Grand Theft Auto's made millions and billions of dollars, and an artist goes, you want to put my name in your game? Oh, that's $10 million. $10 million, because they want their money too. That's how it works. That's how it works. All right, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next story. We got done with that one. We got done with that one. How can you not trust this guy, huh? How can you not trust this guy? This guy is trustworthy, huh? Stand-up guy. Stand-up guy. What time is it? 11:30. All right, the next one. Next one is SAG-AFTRA files unfair labor practices, charge over Darth Vader AI voice in Fortnite. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So SAG-AFTRA files an unfair labor practice charge over Darth Vader AI voice in Fortnite. If you guys didn't know, James Earl Jones, God rest his soul, okay, passed away a couple months ago, right? And he signed his likeness away. And Fortnite and Epic decided to take his voice, or I should say Disney, used his voice inside of Fortnite. And basically now James Earl Jones could go tell you to go fuck yourself as Darth Vader in Fortnite. True story. Okay? I don't know if you guys have seen some of the clips and stuff. Hilarious. Okay? So much so they had to do a patch because people were taking advantage. How someone didn't know this was going to happen, okay? How someone didn't know this was going to happen is beyond me, because my 10-year-old said, oh, I knew it was going to happen. A 10-year-old knew it was going to happen. But yet an adult said, yeah, we're going to take AI voice that you could talk to in the game. No one's going to mistreat that. I'm sorry. Give a flamethrower to somebody, and you know what they're going to do with the flamethrower? They're going to light shit on fire. They're going to light shit on fire. Why? Because the flamethrower lights shit on fire. Okay? Doesn't mean they're a pyro. They're like, I got a flamethrower. Boo! So if you give the power to a person to talk to an AI, and the AI can say, go fuck yourself, or other things, you better damn right. It's like a fart joke to a kid, right? You say the word fart, and they're like, hey, you said fart, right? Right? Little kids, you say poopy head, they're like, poopy head, right? Like, you're giving the power of a god, right? You're giving a power of a god to people when you could talk to an AI and the AI can say whatever they want that you're actually asking it to say? So let's read on here, shall we? Okay. So the union claims that Llama Productions failed to notify the labor group to negotiate when it began employing James Earl Jones' voice that replaced the work for members. Okay. See, SAG wants their pay too. SAG's like, wait a minute, you did something without our knowledge and we want our paycheck because we know Fortnite's making billions of dollars and we want a cut of that. Okay. So SAG-AFTRA has filed an unfair labor practice charge against Fortnite production company, alleging that its use of an AI-powered James Earl Jones Darth Vader voice infringes on the union's right to negotiate major changes to its collective bargaining agreement. I hate to break it to you, SAG. The man is dead. James Earl Jones signed his life and his likeness away to Disney, to Star Wars, to Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm decided to let them use a dead man's voice that he okayed because he signed his life away. And now SAG's like, well, this is unfair. Okay. The union claimed that signatory of the collective bargaining agreement, Lamon Productions, made changes to the terms of condition of an employment when Fortnite began employing the use of AI-powered Vader voice starting Friday without giving the union notice or the ability to negotiate. Everybody wants their pay. Everybody wants their pay. Okay. In its filings to the National Labor Relations Board on Monday, SAG-AFTRA argued that using this generative AI voice initially displaces bargaining union work, suggesting that the actors could have been employed to play the Star Wars character for a massively popular games platform. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. We know when James Earl Jones is not doing the voice of Darth Vader. And we know it's AI, but we still know it's James Earl Jones' voice for AI. Okay? And I understand where SAG is coming from, right? There's a whole thing going on right now protecting it against AI in Hollywood and writers and everything else. Okay? I get it. But let's be honest. SAG is doing this because Fortnite's making a shit ton of money and SAG didn't get their cut. Right? SAG-AFTRA members are not currently forbidden from working on Fortnite during the union's ongoing interactive media agreement strike, which hinges on AI protection for voice actors in video games. A side letter in the union's contract allows performers to work during a strike on particular titles that were in production prior to a certain date. In this case, titles that were also in development before August of 2023, as Fortnite was. That's right, because Fortnite has been in cycles since 2016, 2017, so it's just ongoing. Okay. The Walt Disney Company and Epic Games announced that Fortnite players would be able to recruit and chat with Darth Vader on Friday. The use of the iconic voice of Jones, who died last year, was it last year? I guess it was last year, was done in close consultance with the actor's estate, and the company said in a blog post. It says, quote, ask him all your pressing questions about the Force, the Galactic Empire, or if he likes to, whatever he wants. Whatever you could come up with in your head. Or, a good strat for the last Storm Circle. The Sith Lord has options, and the post added. Okay? Yeah, he's got options. He can go tell you to go fuck yourself. He can go tell you that he doesn't like the Star Wars trilogy. He says that the sequel trilogy doesn't exist. This actually happened, by the way. Someone asked them what he thinks about the trilogy. He said that the original trilogy was great, the prequels were good, and the sequel trilogy doesn't exist. Darth Vader, James Earl Jones from beyond the grave, is telling you that the sequels 7, 8, and 9 don't exist. Okay? In a statement about the unfair labor practice charge, SAG-AFTRA stated that it celebrated the right to our members and their estates to control the use of their digital replicas. Still, we must protect our right of bargain terms and conditions around use of voice that replace the work of our members, including those who previously did the work of matching Darth Vader's iconic rhythm and tone in a video game, and the union added. Okay, here's the thing. I think that SAG-AFTRA is a little, again, doesn't mean I'm right. These are just my opinion. Okay, I think when James Earl Jones was alive, if they did this and SAG didn't get their cut, 100%, I think they have a case here. But because James Earl Jones is dead, he's gone. Okay? Again, God rest his soul. His estate said, yeah, Yeah, we would love you to use his voice to keep the voice of Darth Vader going. We would love that. Okay? He no longer is represented by SAG-AFTRA. He's dead. Okay? If the estate says that you could use it, then the estate says you could use it. I don't need to be a part of SAG-AFTRA. If someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, can I use your voice?" Yes, you can. Okay? But at the same time, SAG's going to come up to me and say, "Hey, do you want to be part of SAG? You got to pay your dues." And I'll be like, "No, I don't want to be a part of SAG. I don't want to be a part of SAG." There's no law that says because I did a speaking role, I have to become SAG, okay? Unless you do union work. Okay, well, the man is dead. The man is dead. They have no rights to his saying of stuff. His estate has the rights to saying stuff. So what they're trying to protect is if someone's alive, let's say, I don't know, Morgan Freeman's alive. Morgan Freeman's alive, part of SAG-AFTRA. If they used his voice and SAG didn't get their cut, that's a completely different story. Still living, still here, still working, still part of SAG. James Earl Jones is not part of SAG. Just because, even if I was part of SAG, right? Let's say I was part of SAG, which I was in the past, okay? But now I'm not part of SAG. You know why? I'm not paying my dues. Is James Earl Jones still paying his dues? Is he still paying for SAG? I don't think he is. I don't think he is because he's dead. Do you think the estate is still paying his dues? I don't think they are. Do you know why? Because the man has passed. So SAG saying, "Well, you guys have crossed the line. You didn't tell us you were doing this." We don't have to. The man is no longer on the planet. He's not part of SAG anymore. He hasn't paid for SAG. Like, I don't understand where SAG-AFTRA is coming from here. I get what they're trying to do is protecting the people that are in work. They're like, "Well, you could have taken someone else. I could have been the voice of Darth Vader." Yeah, I could have, but the estate said, "Hey, do you want to use our voice of our late granddad, our husband, our father?" Yeah, you could use it. Go ahead. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think? Do you think SAG has a point here about James Earl Jones? Do you think, again, they're trying to say the claims filed unfair labor practice charges, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Salty says, "I didn't set my work on fire. The flamethrower did it." That's right. People are dumb. If you didn't think it was going to happen, yeah. If Darth Vader can go F yourself in Darth Vader's voice, people would have paid James Earl Jones to go tell him to fuck off on their phone. Come on. Yeah, don't hit that red button. You see that red button? Don't you hit it. Don't you hit it. If you guys can't hear me, I'm raising my fan up a little bit. So if you hear the fan in the background, tough. I'm sweating my balls off here. Okay? All for the power of or for entertainment purposes. Okay? Got no air conditioning. And it's outside right now, it's like 89 degrees before noon. Eclipse says, "Hey, I still laugh at that. At fart jokes? Of course you do. It's because you have a sense of humor." James Earl Jones gone, but SAG-AFTRA is still being infringed upon because you're not employing another actor is how I would understand it. Correct, Z. But again, if they approach the estate and the estate says, "Yes, you can use our father, grandfather, husband's voice," SAG has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with that. At this point, they could now approach the person. Let's say I did the voice. Let's say I did the voice for Darth Vader. I'm not SAG. They just asked someone to do the voice. I do the voice, and now, after the fact, SAG comes up to me and says, "Hey, if you do this again for a union job or whatever, you're going to have to be part of SAG." And I'll be like, "Okay, cool." And then I join. This man is no longer with us. I think it's different from a living person to a dead person. The estate gets to say what they want to do and what the living will was or what the will says. Eclipse says, yeah, it was actually in his contract to use AI, so that's all on him. There you go. Right? If it says it was in his will, then end of story. Thanks very much. Thanks for playing. You know what I mean? Salty says, squabbling over a dead man's voice. Jesus. Well, that's a completely different story. I know you're not saying Jesus. Can you imagine? Can you imagine, Salty, if it was Jesus? They're like, wait a minute. Did Jesus sign the contract? Did Jesus sign the contract to have Jesus' voice? How would that work? How would that work? Dave says, it's my money and I want it now. J.G. Wentworth. Eclipse says, so awesome, I'm not going to lie. I was smiling the whole time I was playing with him. My son was laughing his ass off. My son asked him, he goes, Darth Vader, you got to heal. And Darth Vader said to him, he says, I don't take, first of all, my son was Emperor Palpatine, okay? He said, Darth Vader, you have to heal. And Darth Vader says, I don't take orders from anybody, okay? He says, I don't have to heal. I'm the Lord. I was like, that's classic, right? It's funny. It's funny. And then there was an update. My son's like, why is there an update? Why is there an update? I said there's an update because they had to patch in some stuff for Darth Vader. I said people were doing bad things with it. He says, oh, why didn't they see that coming? I'm like, that's the answer, huh? Hey, didn't lie Star Wars sequels were ass? Yeah, no. I'll see if I can find the clip. Quintar says Union being stupid. Union? What's up, Jones? I guess the estate should have redone the contract with SAG-AFTRA. His family sold them the right too quick so they can also get the cheddar like anybody else would. If the estate's making money off of his work, guarantees SAG wants some of it. Oh, absolutely. That's the first thing I said. SAG wants their cut. Kraken says, I like turtles. Sounds like they're trying to cash in on his voice. They can't dictate how his voice is used. It's iconic, man. It's iconic. Not everybody's in that situation, right? Not everybody's in that situation where they cast a character and that voice is iconic, right? Like even like if Al Pacino in Godfather, or I'm trying to think of another person, right? Like their voice is their voice and they played a character, but that character's not like as sellable as Darth Vader. Darth Vader is this iconic character, man. Quintar says, I got something SAG can stick up their bum. What do you say can't hear your fans? What didn't you say can't hear your fans? Oh, is it that loud? Is it that loud, Z? It makes me wonder what if they were cooking for a Disney Fortnite partnership thing. I wonder, there's this big talk and this big hoopla that's happening right now. A lot of people are going back and playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's like an increase of player count happening with Star Wars Battlefront 2. I don't know if it's because of the Star Wars event that's happening in Fortnite. I don't know if it's because of Andor. I don't know if it's because of all these things, right? But I wonder if there's no Battlefront 3 because of what Disney's doing with the Star Wars brand behind the scenes in Fortnite. Be interesting to see. You're damn right I'm committed to the craft. Oh, absolutely, Roadkill. This morning when I had to go look for my air, it was 6:30 in the morning. I was sweating. I've already taken a shower today, right? I took a shower last night. I took a shower this morning, right? I'm probably going to take another shower after I'm done with the stream. Roadkill says the first time they just use AI to bring back the dead person and confront their killer in the court case. And I was on the news, pretty crazy, I thought. Interesting. Never heard of a single fucking good thing worth about value about the Union, ever. So although they're also meant to be for good, I have nothing but negative view of them. I'm on the fence. Right when I joined the Union back in early 2000s, I had to go on strike. I got a real quick lesson on unions. I couldn't work. I was brand new in the industry. Couldn't take jobs. But there was times I was on an actual shoot and we weren't getting paid our union fees, like our union day rate. And then they came and fought for us, and then we got paid for that, right? So there's good points and bad points, but majority, I think, would be bad. What's the cliff notes of the story? The cliff notes of the story is James Earl Jones gave the rights to his voice to the estate, and the estate said that you can use my voice for Darth Vader in Fortnite, and the SAG-AFTRA wants their cut. And they're saying that this is unlawful, unfair labor practices, that you're using someone else's voice when you could have employed somebody else to do the voice. Oh, is this the clip? Krebsy? Is this the clip?
The chat is asking you which trilogy is the best in your opinion.
The chat seeks my opinion on trilogies, such quaint diversions. The original trilogy demonstrated the Empire's might, and the prequels elucidated its fall. As for the sequels, they do not exist, which amuses me. What?
Can you guys hear that, or is it too soft? I don't know if I can make it louder. Was that loud enough? He said the sequels didn't exist. Hold on, we'll play more of it.
Value do you place on such childish entertainment, quaint diversions? The original trilogy demonstrated the Empire's might, and the prequels elucidated its fall. As for the sequels, they do not exist, which amuses me. What value do you place on such childish entertainments, Master Chief?
He said the sequels don't exist. Fuck yeah, dude.
That is James Earl Jones from the grave came back and said the sequel trilogies don't exist. Mad respect for James Earl Jones when he was here, and now AI James Earl Jones. Keeping it based. Keeping it based. Like, how awesome is that? How awesome is that? So good. So good. James Earl Jones said sequel trilogies. They're like, no, that was AI James Earl Jones. Nah, that's what the AI said it. And look, as a person that's going to accept the AI overlords coming in, I agree. The 789 do not exist. So good. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's there. Fantastic. All right, let's see. I want to get a Roadcraft review. Let's see. Roadcraft review. ACG's got one that's 18 minutes long. Gaming Bolt. Let's go ACG. Let's go ACG.
In Roadcraft.
All right. So we played Roadcrafters last night. Okay, we played Roadcrafters last night. I'm liking it a lot. Now, I know this is not a game for everybody. Okay. I really like SnowRunners. I like MudRunners. I like SnowRunners. SnowRunners to me is a amazing game. Value, the way they do DLCs. If you want more content, you pay for the more content. Okay. Okay. 30, you're sweating like you've been working out. I mean, I'm not that wet. I'm a little, you know, a little moist. I got 3 fans on me. It's fucking hot though. It's hot. So I really like what this franchise does. I love the graphics. I love the physics. I love the attention to detail they do for all the stuff. Roadcrafters, you played about 4 hours last night. I played about 5 hours total yesterday. Off stream, on stream. I really like what they're doing with this game. It's a little easier than SnowRunners because I think they banged it on SnowRunners. I think they went down a little bit on Expeditions, and they kind of brought it back up now with Roadcrafters. You get to use different machinery, heavy machinery, cranes, bulldozers, dump trucks, other stuff that I haven't unlocked yet. You can build bridges. The physics of putting the actual ground down and like smoothing it over it's real interesting, right? It's real interesting. So let's watch this from ACG. I like watching ACG's reviews because they're mostly done in like a thought process. Real quick, let me bring this because I gotta put his name in the description because I didn't add this earlier. Edit. Because I didn't know if we were gonna have time to do this. So let me fix this real fast. ACG. Okay, so if you guys want to watch this video on your own, it's in the description down below as well. As always, we watch different people's reviews that have the time to do this type of stuff. We give you our thoughts and stuff and pause it in between. But if you want to watch the whole video and the review, you can go watch ACG. Description in the link is in the description down below. All right, so let's watch this and see what he has to say.
After you're not just behind the wheel, you're at the top of the chain now. As head of operations, you're dropped straight into the thick of local areas hated by nature. Ancient gods are, just possibly unlucky as hell, taking command of an emergency restoration service company, trying to get crap working after floods and storms, and enough natural disasters have dropped on particular spots that you're needed. First, if you're hoping for a 1-to-1 sequel to SnowRunner or a direct Mud Runner spiritual successor, you're not getting it. This is more like 4:10 ratios. For every scouting trip, there's probably 4 things you can do. For every 10 feet you go, there's probably 4 other feet that's dangerous as shit.
Like, look at the physics of the water interaction with the mud and the tires and everything. Their engine, their proprietary engine they use here is phenomenal. This is a great multiplayer game, Mo. You can play up to 4 players, and you can jump into other people's public matches and stuff like that to help them out.
Shit, or requires you to think of the larger company and further repairs and restoration versus your own powertrain snapping off and flying through the air due to a mistimed creek fording. Think about it this way.
Oh, that's brutal right there. Right when he falls over here,
snapping off and flying through the air due to
this is brutal right here.
Mistimed creek fording. Think about it this way. I love a great steak, but I'm not going to throw a well-made burger back at the cook's face just because I knew he wasn't cooking it and hoped he would magically make me one.
The road crafting it feels really good, really good.
Craft, your job is to take your recovery team and get a region of the world working again after natural disasters. Plopping down in your scout vehicle, finding supplies, mapping out routes, locating working or broken down facilities, and basically being the boss on the ground as you mark it and tag it and then start making plans to get all those facilities back up and working again.
So you see the star rating? The star rating is your overall, your level. Okay, so like if you play your own game, you can level up and you make the cash and you can spend that cash. If you play someone else's game, I'm not sure how that works, but you get the experience, but I'm not sure if you get the cash for your game as well. I don't know if it's the cash that you make just stays into that server and they can spend it how they want, or if you can bring that money back with you as well.
And that's when the big rigs come in. 40-plus vehicles from dump trucks to tree cutters, power line layers, truck cranes,
I haven't got that yet. That's cool.
Vehicle movers, log carriers, and more. Leaping from vehicle to vehicle, either through your main menu or...
Oh, that's another thing. What I really like about SnowRunners and Expedition and this game now, Roadcrafters, is the actual progression feels really, really good. So, there's no bridge there, and then you do stuff, and then the bridge is there. When you're building the roads, and the roads are there, and it feels like you're progressing. It would almost feel like when you're in a regular game of first-person shooter and you're collecting stuff, it's that progression level, but you're seeing this physically as the map's evolving over time.
A hot swap button. In many ways, Roadcraft feels familiar and alien at the same time. It's a bit like a hug from a parent when you think you're too old. At first, the simulation parts start, resource gathering and planning. It can feel like they're in the way, guardrails on your first road trip alone. However, once I embraced the systems and what they were trying to do and that it was different, it sort of opens up. I don't see that Roadcraft will be for everybody.
Yeah, work is actually being done. Things get built up. That's something that SnowRunners was missing. Like, I would love to clear the roads in SnowRunners to make it easier. I wish they put this mechanic in SnowRunners.
Fans are going to chafe like runner's rash with the lack of fuel tracking and full damage systems. Instead, though, I started to understand exactly what they were trying to do. What Roadcraft is a game with some of the same underpinnings, but more.
Yeah, there's no fuel system in this game, and I understand why. It would just be another fucking obstacle to. Every time I go back to fill up the sand, I have to go get fuel now, and how far away am I from the fuel? And you're sidetracking so much. I get what they did.
Of the business sim on top. Each machine you can get into has its own set of controls and ways in which it's useful depending on what you want to do in that particular location. And comboing those together to build a road, the reason the game has its namesake in the first place, is rewarding as hell. Scouting with your pickup, for instance. This is where that SnowRunner feel comes in. And while you don't have to worry about gasoline on your own rig, you do have to watch out so you don't flip the damn thing over or drown it by powering through a creek that looks suspiciously shallow. So you figured, there's no reason to use the terrain tracker, which is, of course, that
bottomed out that thing.
Nice machine that you have, which plots out grids over the landscape to show you the depth and angle in particular spots. You grab another truck, load that up with the pipes, and then try to wrestle that damned beast across uneven terrain to the damaged section. And to mitigate some of that uneven terrain, you can do what the game is called, which is craft roads. At first, it'll show you how to do it with the automatic system. A mission comes up and it'll have you restore a section of road. Get all the required vehicles to one of the two ends of that section and then assign the vehicle to the lane that you want to lay down.
Oh, wait, you can make it do it automatically? Oh, my God, I didn't know I could do that. Chat, last night I was bouncing back and forth between the fucking vehicles, going to the dump truck and then doing the thing and then going back to this and then taking that. I could tell it to do it itself.
All the required vehicles to one of the two ends of that section and then assign the vehicle to the lane that you want to lay down and get to work. But it does have to be in order. First, you have to gravel it or sand it, and that is using dump trucks to fill in the
Water says yes. You could John Walker the road building. Sweet.
Creeks, crevices, and uneven ground. Then you get your grader to come down and flatten that down. When that's done, laying down wet asphalt on.
Yeah, but Mo, it was about the experience, you know? You know? It's fucking hilarious now that I had to do the whole thing. 2 hours! 2 hours to build that road by myself.
On top of it, and then finally rolling over it to turn that section into a nice piece of road that is far easily more navigated by you as well as the AI. You can also do this yourself with those same steps anywhere. So if you find an area almost impassable, grab the same vehicles and do it manually. And that's when experimentation really...
Oh. So I can only do it for certain challenges, not for everywhere in the world.
Started to work. For example, I was mad that a ravine, normally very difficult to create a road over, was wasting my time. So I grabbed a bunch of pipes and scrap and threw them into the bottom until I could dangerously drive across it with the dump truck. Then I filled it with sand because now I could do that without getting stuck, smoothed it down, then plastered it with some steaming hot travel juice, and then rolled it down. Cutting
travel juice just sounded disgusting.
Not only a good amount of time from my trip, but also making it so that the AI, when it was doing its thing, could get from point A to B without flipping upside down and dying in the sun. Then, as you discover more or complete the smaller objectives, new ones keep popping up, moving you from spot to spot, and you always have to identify how exactly to get there. Whack-a-mole situations where time and time again you are tasked with getting the entire region back to working status can feel a bit repetitive, but regardless of how those...
I really dislike when people say a game is repetitive. I know he's not saying that game is repetitive. He said like it could feel like it's being repetitive. All games are repetitive. All games are repetitive. Okay? All games. Doesn't matter what game it is. So to say like, oh, I'm driving from point A to point B, I gotta drive from point A to point B again. It's the same thing as walking from point A to point B or picking up the same thing or shooting the same guy or going to the same location.
Are given to you, you can do it any way you really want. And that means putting up bridges or tearing down roads that are already there for their scrap. No matter what, throughout the entire game, there is always something to do and some new way in which you can jump into it. And that complexity grows with time. And that means multiple situations you have to take care of all at the same time. You're not just trying to find a pipe that's burst, but you're trying to find 4 broken pipes, or replace them with new ones you made after recycling scrap in the game world, then build a road to unlock a new base, cutting down trees so that you can send a power line digger between the power station and the new base you just uncovered.
Oh my God, I gotta saw down some stumps. game of the year.
Doing this, you can also leap into first-person mode, driving from the inside, or leap into the open camera to get a better...
Inside the vehicles, the attention to detail is amazing. I wish they put the guy's hands, though, on the steering wheel like they did.
Better eye on where you need to go.
It just brings the immersion even more, you know what I mean?
Here, the game also felt a bit like Power Wash Simulator at times, where spots that were filled with debris, I took 3 hours just cleaning it up and recycling the destroyed locations and items there, and then putting a road into that spot. As you complete those objectives, you also get rewards in the form of money, fuel, and unlocked vehicles for more missions. There are also better versions of many of the machines, with you starting out with the lowest end, usually with the nomenclature like Rusty, and then getting nicer ones. Most vehicles can also be sold if you end up doubling up and not needing them. I can say one thing, though. The AI, especially if you are not taking insane care, can't drive worth a shit. Luckily, you can place waypoints everywhere to get from spot to spot to spot, but be aware these dudes are dogmatic.
Well, here's the thing. He's saying they're bad, and they are, but it's also on the user error. So I want to point out something here. You see where this point is and where that point is? Okay? You got to look at the red line. He's got the point here, okay? There's not another point until here. So obviously it's going to go from one point to the next point. This blue line's a completely different route, okay? So he's got the point here, and he's got the point here. Oh, wait, that's not even it. He's got the point all the way over here. So he's made this one long point here, and it's running into the wall. Well, of course it's going to run into the wall because it's being told that that's the way you want it to go. If he added another point where this point is and this point is, then it wouldn't hit the wall, and then you wouldn't have problems, and then you wouldn't have the AI being shit drivers. It's because you didn't put the points down. It's only doing what you didn't tell it to do.
As time, if there's a slightest deviation, they could, for example, go around a rock perhaps. They probably won't. That results in...
Yeah, you see, he's pointing at the wrong thing. This point is different than this blue line. So this point here is not part of this line. This point's not even part of this line.
This weird conga line of upside down steel.
Right? He's trying to clear that point, but he can't because it's not part of that route.
Carrying work trucks because they all hit the same garden gravel that upturned them like fucking turtles. A lot of times you're going to be driving around and start to get this over.
See, the more points, and it tells you, if you look at this route here, it says route points left, 188. You have a certain amount of points that you can use from one point to the other. So far, it's been plenty.
Arcing idea that nobody else in the game can drive because you just keep getting alerts that the plots have failed. Oddly enough, this sort of shows some of the flexibility in the game. In fact, one way to get through all this or beyond it would be to just make a perfect road from one end to the other. However,
right. Play the game how you want, though. You could John Walker it and just skip that point, or you can make a nice path in a game called Roadcrafter, put it down, drive on the nice road after working through it.
However, that's sort of the juice. You get to decide. For those who want to complete the objectives, you can just do that. For those who want to dive in and get their hands dirty, tens of hours can be wasted on...
It took me 2 hours to do a road last night. 2 hours.
On a single map to make every single thing perfect. It's the same way that House Flipper or Power Wash Simulator would have those moments where the game said objective complete, and you see that some random toys ride still has a bit of grime on it, and you're like, oh no, it's not, and you rush off to clean it. Putting it all together is not always great here. The game's shift and merging of two gameplay styles, it is noticeable in the HUD and the menu, which is not great. A lot of that is just because of all the hints it's trying to pop up and the different systems you can use.
I will agree with this a little bit for the 5 hours I have, 5.5 hours that I put in. The menu system, when you hit the back button to try to navigate stuff, your brain... I'm playing on console. Okay, he looks like he's playing on actual PC. I'm playing on console, so like you're limited to like the controls of all the vehicles are different. So like LB, RB, right trigger, left on the D-pad, right on the D-pad, up on the D-pad. You have to hold LB or RB and then do the things, and then LB and then do the things. It gets a little bit confusing with the UI and stuff like that. But I chalk that up as I'm only 5 hours in, and I'm still learning different vehicles and different stuff, you know?
It starts out being frustrating. Over time, you start to pick things up and understand what this button does, and that a particular time that you hit escape is not going to take you back to the main menu, but is actually going to take you out of the spot that you're in back to the map itself. It's just little things like that that can be frustrating if you're an hour or two in.
I mean, I get what he's saying, an hour or two in. I'm 5 hours in. I'm still learning new things.
Driving here has a differential lock, all-wheel drive, and terrain scanner to show you where the rivers are deeper. Turn the all-wheel drive off and get a little bit more speed for your ride. You'll use those for traversing more difficult terrain, but at the same time, you're not going to have to use them all the time. You'll be able to switch them on and off. And that control, when it comes to mouse and keyboard or gamepad, those work great. However, the game also does have some steering wheel support. It's got like the G29 for PlayStation platforms, 920 for Xbox, 923, Thrustmaster 458 for the original Xbox, and then some others, including the Thrustmaster 150 for PS4 and PC. Be aware, though, that during the demo, people reported issues with the steering wheel and a particular bug or two that did pop up. And I will say this about the game. There are so many different options and so many different control schemes, not only the map, but the driving, as well as using the tools on the vehicles. Let me just suggest probably being near your mouse and keyboard or near your gamepad, because
there's a lot of buttons to learn for the different vehicles and whatnot.
It does feel like with all of these different things, one of them is not going to translate perfectly. And trying to figure out the eccentricities of all of these game design decisions is like a lot of these sim games. It's not the first time this has happened, but
last night, Aku was saying that he wants a steering wheel, but he also wants his controllers, of his flight stick simulators, to operate like the different cranes and whatnot, right? So there's so many options that he's saying that Aku was like, if I have my steering wheel and then I have my controllers, if I can set all that up, now it's going to take a while to set this stuff up. But once you do, your experience will feel so much better. But the people, here's what I'll say. The people that play these types of games, like myself, love the customization and the stylized of like what you can do with steering wheel, controller, other peripherals and whatnot. There's a big community for this. It's a quiet community. I don't want to say a small community. It's a large community, but they're quiet. You don't really hear a lot of people talk about how they play these games, but there's millions and millions of people that play these types of games.
It is noticeable in a title like this where it originally spawned from just driving around. You can also leap into the game with 3 other people for some co-op, making plans, trading jobs, taking over the different vehicles. That is if the host decides they can, because the host luckily does have a couple options here to restrict randoms from coming in and screwing everything up. But if you dive in with others and you have that one friend whose room looks like no one lives there because it's spotless, they can be charged with picking up and recycling debris, where the big brain of the group can scout around making plans for routes that make the most sense to get all the power from the station to the recycling center. And hopefully you all have that one buddy who loves a bit of risk. You can let them try to figure out a way to get across what looks to be impossible bodies of water with bridges or slowly building out their own roads. Cross-platform is a thing, but it was not turned on in the review. They say it'll be there day one. It also shares progression and has built-in voice chat if you want to use it. Now, when it comes to bugs, I had one 3 or 4 times during the gameplay, attempting tight turns and backing up near larger debris, or in my case in particular, buildings. Sometimes the vehicle would stick into the building and not come off, meaning I couldn't move. Switching out to another vehicle for
you could recover your vehicles by pushing up on the D-pad
for a second, and then hot switching back or reloading did fix it, but it was aggravating because it happened twice right where a recycling center with a tight entry point was,
I get it.
As well as another location with tight turns to get to a delivery.
What you could do also, if it's the AI going through, you can place them back at like a checkpoint, and then they'll drive from that point. They don't have to drive all the way back.
Part. I didn't see the AI have this issue, though. They just had issues getting there or taking those tight turns if I didn't set the plot point up perfectly. The game also has an amazing sense of freedom. It lets you be risky or not risky at all. Trying to drag a pipe and get it to roll just enough to a spot to repair it with nothing but your scout is possible. Grab the main crane and the weight of it, it's nothing. You can now pick up that pipe. It's easy to do, and it's super controllable, but it doesn't have...
If you see someone on the road driving with a pipe like this, stay away from them. Stay away from them.
Storage on it.
I don't know if you could fail the mission, Jones. You could fail to take longer to do the mission, but I think as long as you're doing the mission, you're going to complete it. It's just you could fail multiple times getting from point A to point B, or filling the thing, or trying to fix the thing. Right? So if I pick up the thing and all of a sudden my crane falls and it crashes and the pipe falls over, I'm going to have to bring another crane over to do the job. So I failed, but in the long run, I'm going to complete it regardless.
Buy a nice truck.
Unless you John Walker it.
with a mini winch, and you can do all that, but you consistently have to make sure that you have the weight in the vehicle set correctly. Otherwise, that thing is going to be Gray Lady Downing and disappear into the night by flipping over and over and just tumbling down some rocks. You'll be driving around, you'll be doing something, you'll see a problem, and you'll think to yourself, you know what? I am going to try to give this a chance. And then you have a crane arm
Is that a train cart he's dragging behind him?
Canted off to one side with another section of pipe in the back of your truck to try to balance this poorly strapped in material and get it some way. And like a tightrope walker, you're just consistently watching out for danger. I loved that. No matter what I saw, I was like, you know what? I think I can.
He's carrying a giant tanker behind him, and then he's using the tow, not even the tow cable, the crane to pull the train behind him. You're asking for problems.
Give that a try. Speaking of giving it a try, these guys have tried their own new engine for this title. And I would say that Roadcraft, it looks the part. It's merging their prior games into one. Landscapes are different. Everything has a post-apocalyptic look to it, which makes sense as the places you go to have seen that massive flooding and earthquakes. What I love is the smaller details here, the smaller animations, like the hydraulic tap you get when you move a bucket a couple times and the entire vehicle shakes.
Yeah, the delivery game where you're like a pickup truck. I forget what it's called. I asked for a key from the developer. They haven't got back to me. I know what you're talking about. Has to deliver or something like that. No, what was it called? Always deliver or something like that.
The physics of the water and the mud and dirt turning into nasty
I would play that.
glue
Looks like a
around
fun
tires.
game.
All that's here, and that looks crazy good. What is not crazy good is the performance. Now, my God, the popping is insane in this game as well. When it comes to
I mean, you could throw as many cranes as you want in the river as possible. You still have to buy new cranes. You know what I mean, Jones? Delivery at all costs. That's it.
micro details like small rocks and debris, small dead bushes, and otherwise, we're not talking about far.
I think it does come out for all platforms, if I'm not mistaken.
In front of you, we're talking about a lot of times stuff just smattering around and coming into distance 10, 15 feet in front of your vehicle, really regardless of what setting you have it on. Also, it's not really at all rock solid when it comes to performance. There are some variations and variables going on here that will have you consistently fighting it, especially when you first turn it on. Some of the later maps with a ton of effects and some spectacular draw distances can also drop this frame rate. They suggest a 3080 for 1080p to 1440p, depending on upscaling.
Damn, a 3080. I have a 3060. I'm playing on console anyway, so.
Used. And that seems about right, as that's almost exactly where the 3080 was hitting. I did notice some micro stutter, and it's much more noticeable in the busier levels and cropped up even when the game was getting 90 plus FPS. On the consoles, they have a fair number of options. Series S is 30 FPS upscaled to 1440p. On the Series X, PS5, and PS5 Pro, they have dynamic resolution versions for 60 FPS mode as well as a quality mode. Graphically, there is a lot to like in Roadcraft, but make no mistake, there's a fair bit of jank here.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what I was playing at last night. I don't know if I was playing at 30 or 60. I don't even know.
And the performance from the 2080 to the 4090 showed that while frame gen isn't required, DLSS or FSR is going to be a big help here, getting the FPS lows to not crater in the more detailed maps, as well as different settings that you can turn up or down.
I want a vehicle to... I don't have a bulldozer yet. I mean, I have a bulldozer, but sometimes it doesn't connect to things. I want something that I can clean the streets. Give me a clean a street sweeper or something.
Just mirrors, which I didn't notice as much as shadows being something that gave me more FPS. On the other hand, turning on DLSS and frame
That's a nice road he built there.
And get you that back, but I would really like to see them shore this up. When it comes to shoring up, this is a place where, let's be honest, man, I don't really require much from the audio when it comes to the music in these games. There's something that usually is sedate, maybe older Western movie style at times, and that's exactly what you get here. Almost always just sort of vibing in the background. It's not going to cause you to download the tracks. It's not there. It's sort of music for games, basically. Some basic guitar and arrangements that are thematic.
That's a nice pour.
Sometimes
That's
it
a nice
reminded
pour
me
for
of
the
the
dump
tracks
truck.
in a game like Hunter, Call of the Wild. They work. They just sort of play in the background or when you get
He's putting a lot
objective.
down.
However, the sound is pretty good in a weird way. It's like hearing a car crash and saying that's awesome, because a lot of the sound here...
Yeah, that's what it looks like when the road's crafted. We haven't unlocked that yet, so we can't craft a road. We can only just put sand down.
There's the droning of the vehicle, slowly fording a creek like a fat toddler, barely able to touch a kiddie pool's bottom, and then the whine of an engine and the occasional crash and clunk of a car slamming into a rock. The spool up of the winch wire,
Why?
the horrific
Why would
sound
you
of
do
a pipe
that?
rolling down a hill, bouncing off every friggin' rock because you set it just in the wrong place, is well done. These are sounds that, to be honest, are more utilitarian. and they work fine for me. When it comes to the voice, the main voice is the game's operator who tells you where to go, calls you up, says, hey, you need to go here, you need to go there, even though you're basically the company owner, but she's the one consistently giving you jobs. Pops up, then goes away, and not really noteworthy. Not bad, though, either. Now, when it comes to the fun factor, all these coming together, some of the technical issues as well as the game's good look, but also the way in which it plays and the HUD, does it come together to be fun? I will say this, one place where Roadcraft got me was a consistent feeling of one more thing to do.
I said that last night. I said what I love about this game is there's just like one more dump truck, right? One more road to build, one more thing to deliver.
But maybe not having the resources to do it. It's like those times you realize you're shopping on Amazon even though you have less money than normal. It's just the way we work. And the more I repaired, the more I recycled, the more one goddamn piece of concrete I found I'd driven by 11 times. I saw that the 12th time while
you could pick up stuff and scrap it for money? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up everything possible and scrap it.
I drive off into the unknown when following the road waypoints, and I thought to myself, you know what? This is haunting me. So I leapt into the truck, got the crane, drove 1 mile out of my way to get it, and then drove it to the recycling.
Dustin, I just got too many games. I got too many games to play. Right? I was just talking earlier that one game and push the next game down, next game. I just bought Roadcraft, so I'm playing Roadcraft now, which the other games I played on Game Pass or I purchased are going to take a seat for a little bit.
Center. I'm not saying that makes sense. I'm saying I sensed I could make something out of it. Since everything you turn in gives you something else, you might as well. And that is where it grabbed me. Where Expeditions didn't seem to hit most consumers in the right place, Roadcraft at the very least drops the subtitling, separating it from the Runner series completely. It's not without its compromises and in many ways contradictions. Within just a couple minutes, the differences start to add up. If differences always meant bad, that'd be one thing. But here, I actually don't think they are. This is one of those titles that takes a lot from the prior games, mixes in its own thing, and becomes really its own Zen state. Just like you can enjoy listening to cool, sedate music or sitting down and reading a book. They're both enjoyable for different reasons.
Right.
When it comes to the rating,
that was a good explanation there.
Roadcraft is Saber's newest entry. It's coming out for $40 for the standard, $50 if you want a vehicle.
Good price point. Great price point. $40, $50.
Bonus and early access to upcoming DLC later. This is releasing on May 20th for PlayStation 5, the series, systems, and PC. Despite the two styles of game having those complexity issues and some main objective repetition, it called me back time and again, and I'm still playing it now. Well worth buying right now. With over 60 hours in the campaign, probably way over that alone as well, or just taking on the side optional missions or multiplayer to help you build and repair and explore, Roadcraft just offers a different type of value. It's not like their prior games. It's good, it does its own thing, but its identity is distinctly a side-style title, sharing some similarities, but a little bit like that cousin who looks like they belong.
That's the Overwatch. That Overwatch, watch it right here.
Some similarities, but
right there. That's Overwatch colors. That's literally like the Overwatch.
A little bit like that cousin who looks like they belong in the family versus finding out you have a brother because your dad stepped out for some extracurricular 4x4 off-roading with somebody else. It feels within the family generally, and I think it is well worth getting, even with the performance and sometimes noticeable micro stutter.
I don't have an answer for you, Jones. I haven't been playing long enough to tell you if I can run out of money. I'm assuming you can run out of money because you can spend the money on different vehicles. But if you're out of money and you're not using that vehicle, you can sell it back. I do know that. But I don't know if you can, run out of money and be like screwed. If there's like I think you could always make money. So I don't think you could ever run out of money.
That popped up here.
But that could be one of the reasons that you don't have fuel. Maybe because you had to pay for fuel. There could be a point where you're out of money and out of fuel and you're fucked. Maybe that's why they got rid of fuel.
It's a dampener on the enjoyment levels, but it didn't make them go away. This is one of those titles that I think a lot of people are actually going to like. And for sim fans or those people who just want to jump...
God damn, that's a big cavern that he's got to fill up there.
...into something with a couple friends and go around and really play it the way you want to play it. Roadcraft nails that part. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Hey, check out the Patreon. It always helps the channel.
That's a good review. Here's what I like. Make sure you go check out ACG. His link in the description down below. What I like playing Minecraft for, like if I chop down a goddamn tree or make a cavern or a hole in the wall and I have all that material, I can go build a bridge or I can go build a road, right? I'm not playing creative, just playing the game. And then when I'm done building that road, okay, when I'm done building that road, I can, see my progression. In this, same type of thing is happening where I flatten the road out, continue the road, build the road. It gives me that sensation of it feels good. It's that trigger in the brain that, oh, if I do this, it makes it nice. So if you can play the game as detailed as you want, or as like just do the missions, finish the missions, and move on. Or you could be like, you know what? I'm going to pave every single goddamn road in this place to make it awesome looking. Why? I don't know. Maybe to level up your character or whatever, your overall profile. But you can play the game how you want to play. That's a good review. Like I said, I'm 5.5 hours in. I'm really enjoying the game so far. I love SnowRunners. I've got hundreds and hundreds of hours into SnowRunners. Multiple maps. There's still DLC I haven't even finished yet in SnowRunners, and they're still supporting it. They've had 2 other games come out, and they're still supporting SnowRunners. I know this game's not for everybody, but if you guys are playing, if you're watching this after the fact and you do like playing this game, if you would ever like to play, let me know, because when I play the game, you guys want to do co-op or whatever, you guys know I like playing co-op, so. All right. It's 11:22. I would say I would stay on a little longer, but it's exhaustingly hot in my house right now, waiting for the guy to come to fix the AC unit. So we're going to call it a day. I appreciate you very much for all the stories that you came in. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You can go watch our other broadcasts that we have. We have a crap ton of content on this channel. If it's the live streams, if it's the uploads, if it's the shorts, if it's the podcast. We also have another channel called 30 and Still Gaming where we do gameplay. You can watch 30 and Still Gaming over on YouTube, or you can watch 30 and Still Gaming over on Twitch. We do that simultaneously. I appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out with us. And we also have a channel. We do music in the beginning, okay, called 30 and Still Jamming. That's another channel that we have. I'm slowly taking all the music that we play in the morning show and the before the show launches and putting it over there. So if you're ever watching or listening and you just want to hang out and listen to the music that we play here, it's all written by me but made by Suno AI for the music. They're fun little topical things that we do make fun of. So appreciate it very much. We'll throw it off to Control-Alt-Steal, the one I made for the marathon where they stole the artwork to close it out. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond, become a member as little as $5. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Welcome to the Alpha, strap in, let's roll. Marathons live and spiraling out of control. Mouse assists, wild headshots on blast. Even Stevie Wonder could snipe that fast.
Bungie said test this, it's hot off the grill, but the aim's so cracked it's practically ill.
Then boom, plot twist, forget the fragments, the biggest scandal pop, too loud to miss. An artist named N2 stepped into the chat, said, yo Bungie, you really use that? 2017, I dropped that design, now it's hanging in your Alpha like it's totally fine. No mail, no tag, no legal reply, just my work on a billboard in $1 billion sky. You took the sauce, forgot the chef, and called it inspiration like theft ain't theft. Control plus steal, you did it again. Stole my art like it's just a trend. No credit shown, no royalty split, just AAA silence and a graphics kit. Copy, paste, repeat, that's the deal. Mood board looting with mass appeal. No contract, no message, no nod, no crown, just $1 billion dev trying to hold it down. N2 pulled up with the files and the facts, screenshots hit like destiny attacks. 10 years grinding, can't afford a case while studios lift my style with no trace. From zines to screens, they swiped for years, and now they're ghosting like exo engineers. The pixels don't lie, the textures align, even AI screamed, yo, that's by design. Mood boarding, copy pasting, why pay the artist when theft's so tasting? We'll patch the recall and smooth the frame, but the artist, now that's not our game. They call it inspo, we call it theft, another indie berry while execs get left. overpriced, still uncredited.